We think it's highly unlikely today that we will see the incredible statistical show these two put on in the Astrodome last year.
Yeah, in the Dome, you've got about a 5-mile-an-hour wind. Here, we've got about a 25-mile-an-hour wind. But you're right, Dave. What a day they had last year. Over 1,500 combined yards, and all 12 scoring drives took a minute 39 or less.
Now, another reason that those numbers probably will not be challenged today, the condition of both starting quarterbacks. In fact, David Klingler for Houston at this moment, questionable to start because of battle with the flu this week.
Well, I was over at the hotel last night, and I saw David Klingler. He had his coat on inside the hotel. He's not feeling very well.
For TCU, Matt Vogler will try to go. He's been bothered the last couple of weeks and did not play at all, in fact, last week at Texas because of a very painful hip injury.
Well, if TCU is going to have a chance, they have got to have Matt Vogler in this football game. If without him, they do not have a chance.
Well, you get the feeling that seniors like Vogler playing their final game for TCU today, in a few years, will look back on this season and say, how did we finish with a winning record playing 5 different quarterbacks?
Well, I think that's the most amazing statistic for Jim Wacker and his crew, is that they have played 5 different quarterbacks, and they can and will end their season on a winning note.
And Houston can do the same thing if they win today and next week against Texas Tech. They look back early in the season on very inconsistent offensive line play and all season long on a big turnover problem.
Boy, they've had a shuffle on their offensive line that has been unbelievable. They finally settled down, and they've got a little bit of continuity on offense, but what a leading factor in the turnover ratio has been that offensive line shuffle. They are minus 13 this season.
Cougars and the Horned Frogs ready to kick it off when we return after this from Southwest Airlines.
Ever since Southwest Airlines extended our Friends Fly Free sale, people have gotten even friendlier.
Sugar Plum, your favorite pillow.
If you make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our regular low unrestricted fare, a friend gets to fly with you free all the way through February.
Hey, Dad, seen the head trimmer?
And now you can buy tickets till January 15th.
Here's that putter I borrowed last year. Oh, buddy.
Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free sale. It's great for your pocketbook and your popularity.
There is a place where luxury and affordability collide in a most comfortable way. A place called Acapulco, where fantasy becomes reality 24 hours a day. Acapulco, the difference is night and day.
There's a change taking place across America. People are rediscovering the things that really matter. Caring for one another, living a simpler life. The pleasures of home and family. These values have always been a part of the Farm Bureau tradition. And they're the reason people from every walk of life are turning to Farm Bureau for quality insurance protection. Home, auto, life, value. Helping you is what we do best.
Well, most folks who have made their way to Amon Carter Stadium today have, you get the idea, stayed in their cars as long as they possibly could. Late arriving crowd still coming in. Look at the wind whipping in from the north. Norther blew in last night. And despite the sunshine, 44 degrees, 37% humidity. The key number is at the bottom, 29-degree wind chill. And in the last hour, it has actually dropped 4 degrees.
I believe it. I'll tell you, I'm from up north, and I can tell you it is flat out cold. Once you get playing, though, and you get down on that football field, you forget a little bit about the cold, but these fans are going to be chilled.
Contingent making it up from Houston, where they are hoping to finish above 500 and possibly for the 3rd consecutive year with the 2nd place mark in the Southwest Conference. Contrast, TCU, of course, has already wrapped up a winning record at 6-4. No bowl this year. They're disappointed about that, but they would love to finish 7-4. They already have their first winning season since 1984, and this man has already made one All-America team. The Football News All-America team came out last night, and TCU's Blackwell is there.
I'm fired up. I mean, it's finally showing what I've done in my career here. Last year I set the base for coming into my senior year, and this year I was battling with Derek Brown from Notre Dame for All-American honors, and I was determined in my mind to do my best to get it. And when I found out yesterday that I was named to Kodak All-American in Football News, I was ecstatic. I mean, words can't even express how I felt.
Well, he should be there, and our congratulations to Kelly Blackwell. Trey Beacon's kick down for a touchback by Keandre Sanders, and the Cougars will start from their 20. They go into the teeth of that bitter north wind, and we wait to see until the last possible instant who will be the quarterback for Houston. It will be Klingler coming in from the bench. They literally were going to decide after the kickoff whether his flu would allow him to go. And of course, the numbers not what they were last year. Still pretty impressive. He is still 5th in the nation in total offense, averaging 289 yards per game. Passing 303 yards per game, 57% with 19 touchdowns. Of course, that's opposed to 54 touchdowns last year. And he goes deep and over the head of the intended receiver, Marcus Grant, on the sideline on first down. Klingler's offensive support today, featuring Fred Gilbert, the nation's leading receiver. That's become a tradition for the Cougars. He comes in with 82 catches. It would be the 5th straight year for a Cougar to lead the nation in receiving if he hangs on to that honor. Mike Giesler playing his final game, the senior from Runge. They hope will make some All-America teams this year. They've moved him to left tackle from right guard. Some of the shuffling they've had to do on the offensive line this year. A lot of time on 2nd and 10 all day, in fact, for Klingler, and he is tripped up at his 11-yard line.
Yeah, he tripped over his left tackle, Giesler's foot, and he was kind of moving around there. Watch the left foot of 67 in the right of your screen. You're going to see him just trip back and step on Klingler's toe right there, and you see Klingler go down.
For Houston.
Well, somebody will get credit for that tackle without having to work real hard for TCU. Up front today, the final game in just an amazing career for senior Roosevelt Collins. Anthony Hickman in the secondary, junior. He'll be back next year from Aldine. And Klingler on the scramble on 3rd down, has an alley but has to step out of bounds. Brad Smith chased him out, and it'll be 4th down.
Dave, TCU does exactly what they want. They hold Houston deep in their own territory. They should, with this wind that the punter is going to kick into, they should get great field position.
Charles Langston is the 5th leading punter in the nation. 2nd in the conference behind Mark Bounds of Texas Tech and Anthony Hickman, who for the first time ever as the return man for TCU fumbled a punt at Texas last week. Not bad at all into the wind, and a fair catch at the 44. 30 yards, really a pretty good effort by Charles Langston. He'll turn around with the win, and he'll hit some 60 and 70 yarders today, probably. Well, Matt Vogler, in his final game for TCU, sprained hip and all. You see his numbers for the year, 51%, 2 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions for the transfer from Auburn out of Tampa, Florida. And the triple shoot for TCU with Michael Jackson in motion and making the catch at the 48-yard line. Jackson, the junior from Corpus Christi Miller, brings in his 4th grab of the year. Offense for TCU with Modkins, the lone setback in most of their sets. And as we said, Blackwell closes out his All-American career today at tight end. Up front, John Marsh, likewise, his final game, senior from Santa Fe, Texas, their highest-rated offensive lineman all year. Derek Cullors checks in for Modkins as Vogler delivers the screen to Blackwell. There's his first catch. He will need 8 more to become college football's all-time tight end pass catcher.
Well, let me tell you how tough he was. He just took a shot right up in the chest and bounced right back up from it.
NCNB starting defensive lineup for Houston will look this way. Up front, Sam Fa'aita from Pacifica, California, former junior college All-American, anchors the front. Ryan McQuarrie, leading tackler for Houston, 81 tackles on the year. In the secondary, John W. Brown, sophomore from Amarillo, probably their best coverage man. On 3rd and 9, Vogler on target. And the first down grab brought in by Shipley.
Boy, what a difference Vogler makes in there. He got stuck as he threw the ball. Watch, you're going to see he gets knocked down. Bam, in the back of your picture. Nice concentration by Shipley. Get those hands underneath that ball and bring it in. Here's the stick on Vogler. Watch this, the tail end of it. Bam, he gets knocked down.
Alan Aldridge it was delivering that blow. But a hair late and it's first down. A hair early movement by the Houston line. Modkins stopped at the 45 of Houston.
Well, that's the difference between a veteran quarterback and a quarterback that's just getting his first start. Vogler came up there and he's trying to keep Houston's charge off, just kind of off sync. So he comes up there, changes that snap count and draws them off sides. Gets a free 5 yards plus a play that could possibly have broken.
We have offside on the defense. We'll replay first down.
Rogers Redding from Denton, Texas, our referee today. Physics professor at North Texas University. And it'll be 1st and 5. Toby Morey and Jackson go wide left. Angel Alvarez is wide right. And it's Colors, the freshman from Lake Highlands and Richardson. First down yardage near the Houston 25. Let's check our Southwest Airlines team must for TCU.
Well, first of all, start and finish with Vogler. With Matt Vogler, they have a chance to move the ball and score. The way you limit Houston's scoring is to keep the football away from their offense. And the last one, that doesn't have any difference with winning and losing. Kelly Blackwell needs 9 catches to break the record, and this is just something he deserves.
That was coming in. He's got 1 catch, of course, so the count is at 8 that he needs to pass Gordon Hudson of Brigham Young. On the draw play, Modkins got a good block and will be to the 22. Pickup of about 4 on first down for the junior from Marlin. Now on the other side, the Houston team must.
Well, first and foremost is to continue to protect Klingler. We've seen what he can do with protection. That's been the biggest problem they've had all year. See lots of Larson. That's Dennis Larson, the backup quarterback to Vogler. And turn around that turnover situation. Minus 13, you can't expect to win a lot of ball games with that record.
Audibilizing is Vogler to get Cedric Dickens, the 3rd different running back, up in a slot. And here comes the blitz, and there goes Vogler down as Glenn Cadrez poured in. And he is the Cougar sack leader for the year. That is number 10 for Cadrez.
Well, you can't have pressure up the middle, and that's exactly what happens on this play. They get to him right away. So he has no chance to step up because the pressure's right in front of him.
Senior from El Centro, California. And the Dr. Pepper scoreboard today in the second quarter shows number 4 Michigan leading Ohio State and Tennessee on top of Kentucky. Timeout called by the Horned Frogs. And Vogler will confer with Jim Wacker on the sideline. We are scoreless very early in Fort Worth.
At Exxon, we think of engines as precise works of art, moving sculptures that come to life with stunning grace. We believe every engine deserves an enduring, powerful life. We believe every engine deserves a motor oil that offers uncompromising protection for a flawless performance. Exxon Superflow Motor Oil. For uncompromising protection against engine wear.
Buying a new car involves some difficult decisions.
Okay, let's see. 4-door? Not 2-door. Hey, maybe no doors.
At NCNB, we don't think financing should be one of them.
Well, you gotta be kidding.
That's why we've set up a loan information line. Call with your questions or stop by and see a loan specialist.
Way too fast.
Then move on to the really difficult decisions.
Okay, red. No, blue. Maybe white.
1-800-ASK-NCNB.
Two-tone?
The lone source.
Coors announces a unique way to brew beer. A way that captures the refreshing dry cold of the Rockies and locks it into the beer. To unleash a unique cold sensation and a finish as clean as ice. It's called double chilling. Only Coors does it. Coors Dry has it. New Coors Dry. Feel the chill.
0-0, as you see very early in the first quarter, and after the timeout, it will be 3rd and 15 for TCU following Pedrez's sack of Vogler. Only 23% with all the quarterback injuries in the last 4 games on 3rd down for the Frogs. And again, pressure this time, Colors. And with the cutback and the second effort, he will have the first down. They are just in love with this true freshman, Derek Cullors.
Every time they talk about him, they talk in the exclamations of, boy, what a career he's going to have. And he just has great ability to cut back. Watch this. It's a blitz, and it's the perfect play for a blitz. Out in the flat of screen, pick up those big linemen. Now watch this little cut right back here to pick up about an extra 5 to 7 yards. Excellent selection.
It'll be 1st and goal after a Houston timeout. And that gives Vogler and company that much more time to get their thoughts together.
And Dave, that was a great call by Jim Wacker to call timeout on that 3rd down situation. They were not in the right play. When they came out, they were in a shotgun. They called that timeout, came over the sideline, had their coaches up in the booth signal down what they should call, and it worked. They converted that 3rd down to 1st down.
Houston burned again on a blitz. They have done less blitzing because of a couple of key injuries. Free safety Darren Woods with a broken ankle out for the year. Left corner Jerry Parks, also a leg injury. Last year's nation's interception leader. Without those two, the defense coordinated by Ben Hurt, compared to early in the year, a little more conservative in terms of the blitzing. This is the nation's leading passing offense. The Cougars are just under 349 yards per game, and the 2nd leading passing offense in the conference for TCU. And that's amazing with all the changes at quarterback.
Certainly is. And the loss of receivers. Look how many receivers they've lost during the season.
1st and goal. Cougars go to the 5-man front. Jackson goes in motion. And on the option, Modkins inside the 5.
Pitch goes to Curtis Modkins.
Kevin Batiste came up from free safety, and Modkins made a nice catch of a pitch thrown slightly behind him.
You know, last night in my conversations with John Jenkins, coach of Houston, he said, the player I respect most on that team is Curtis Modkins. That was really interesting. He said all year long, he's one of the small players out there. He is just tough. He doesn't fumble the football. He does everything that Jim Wacker asked him to do.
The impressive first drive of the afternoon for TCU. Just outside the 3 on 2nd and goal. Vogler to the end zone behind Stephen Shipley, all alone. And it'll be 3rd down. He had beaten Lorenzo Dixon, and Vogler not even close that time.
No, and you can see with the reaction that he had when he threw that football was, ooh, I let one get away from me. Now he has a plastic jacket on. That's to keep warmth inside. It's got rubber around the sleeves, and it'll keep inside. The one problem you have to be careful is that when you sit down on the sideline, it has a big tendency to cool off quickly.
Out of the wishbone, they shift both Modkins and Colors wide left, Jackson and Shipley right. And touchdown TCU, Kelly Blackwell. That's 6 for TCU. That's 2 of the 9 Kelly Blackwell needed today.
Well, it has to be exciting for Jim Wacker to see his offense moved, especially after last week. They couldn't even get across midfield.
And on for the extra point is Jeff Wilkinson. The junior from near Houston, Katie, makes it 7-0.
The thing that amazes me about Blackwell is the way he gets distance on his coverage. Now he comes off the football and he's right away, he's wide open.
From the end zone here, look at Blackwell's 5th touchdown catch of his senior year.
He's on the right side of your screen. Watch how he pops in, no coverage around him. Someone that comes into this game with 53 receptions, you certainly would think he'd have coverage, but they just blew it on this play. You can see he just makes that separation.
Burned again on the blitz. Eric Blunt, the strong side linebacker, lines up opposite Blackwell, comes in on the blitz. And Vogler knows that was the precise play to call against that defense.
Check this out. Ouch! I'm sick of dating. You gotta fake it. So much madness, you just can't take it. Hey, don't go through this, I know what feels good. While the best thing's always so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Hey, give me a Dr. Pepper, we want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste is made to order. We love it, Dr. Pepper now.
Driving after a few drinks is crazy. Don't wreck your life.
Every day is made of little things we always do. Never once forgetting the reason that we're here is you.
At Walmart, we always greet you at the door. We always try to have what you want. You can always return it. And you'll always find the low price on the brands you trust.
Every day and always, we're here for you.
Well, they were shut out in Austin last week. They marched right down the field. The first time they get their hands on the ball this week, and TCU up 7-0. Senior from Fort Worth, Richland. And those ribs don't feel bad at all.
No. I can promise you those ribs are feeling a lot better.
Beacon with the huge win will again kick. The middleman in that receiving trio is Kenny Perry. And this one should be returned. It'll be Sanders from the goal line. And he will not reach the 17-yard line. A fired-up Horned Frog
Sanders with the return. Stop by number 94.
After a 10-play, 56-yard scoring drive.
Wow, Michigan jumping out on top. Understand Desmond Howard just returned a punt 95 yards for a touchdown in that game. Keeps that string going.
That pretty well solidifies, I think, all the balloting for the Heisman Trophy this year. Coming into the year, odds-on favorite, no doubt, David Klingler. And he says no regrets about coming back for his senior year, all in all. Here's the first catch of the day for the nation's leading receiver, Fred Gilbert. 83rd on the year for the junior from Huntsville. Klingler glad to have a target like Gilbert this year after his first 2 years were spent very unhappily at UCLA.
Boy, what a job Klingler did last week. Gilbert was certainly part of that, but what a job he did coming off the bench.
5 touchdowns, 395 yards against Rice, and that come from behind 41-21 victory. Pressure comes, and Klingler sacked at the 9-yard line by Alex Molina. The senior defensive tackle from Delray, Florida, his second sack of the year.
Well, this is just a moving pocket. What he's going to do is he's going to sprint strong side and set up behind the tackle. He's looking downfield. Molina just keeps on bursting through there and takes him down. Good coverage here from the secondary. This is a view of what you're looking at in the secondary coverage. Houston gets so many people in the open. So you've got to usually have to use 7 people to cover back there.
3 receivers right this time as Klingler rolls and goes deep for Marcus Grant, way out of bounds. And a struggling start for David Klingler today.
It really throws you off, Dave, when you can't practice during the week. And Klingler's had at best, a sporadic week of practice with flu, and he had that rib injury earlier, and so he's got to warm up a little bit.
Hickman expecting to receive this punt in Houston territory at the 46. And you would think the Frogs would go all out for the block. Snap is fumbled by Langston, and TCU still scrambling for the loose ball. They recover in the end zone. And we wait for the signal. They will say that the ball was originally down at the Houston 2. So no touchdown, but first and goal. And the story all year right here.
Oh, it certainly is. You could tell right away that TCU was going to come. They've got a great advantage with this win. At worst, they were going to get the punt at midfield. You can see 10 men up, and they just collapse the entire protection. He fumbles the snap. There's the ball going around. Regardless of who covers it, it's going to be TCU's ball.
Angel Alvarez pulled it out of that pile, and then it went away from him. That didn't look like all that bad a snap.
Well, the ball, when it's cold like this, and Houston is used to being in the dome, the ball gets a lot stiffer on the outside. It just looked like it just kind of slid through his hands.
Out of the wishbone, Colors takes the pitch and might have reached the 1. But strung out Houston defense pursuing well that time. And let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the Raycom Network.
Angel Alvarez is given credit for the fumble recovery on the previous play. TCU has the ball, second and goal from the 2.
Frogs already leading 7-0 and looking at second and goal still from the 2. Under 7.5 minutes in the first quarter. This will be Modkins. And we await the signal. Frogs think he's in. He is. Touchdown. Curtis Modkins, a flag down. There is a flag way over near the near sideline, and it is against Houston. Touchdown, Frogs.
They lined up in the neutral zone on that play. But credit Modkins for making a great cut. He started to go outside and then came back inside and said, hey, I'm going to stay behind those big linemen up front.
That is touchdown number 5 this year for Curtis Modkins.
We have offside on the defense. The touchdown stands. The penalty being forced on the kickoff.
Rogers Redding running down. The offsides penalty. TCU held to 7 points by A&M. Shut out by Texas. 14 points in less than 8 minutes against Houston. Mike Nowak's hold is good, and Wilkinson's kick is good.
Well, again, Dave, Modkins makes a nice cut here. He was going to go outside, and all of a sudden you see those quick feet, find those big linemen, you just dive in for the score.
Well, the early nod goes to the Horned Frogs at TCU with all day still to come back for Houston.
Coors announces a unique way to brew beer. A way that captures the refreshing dry cold of the Rockies and locks it into the beer. To unleash a unique cold sensation and a finish as clean as ice. It's called double chilling. Only Coors does it. Coors Dry has it. New Coors Dry. Feel the chill.
The
There is a new gasoline that is clearly advanced. A new gasoline that will give you the highest level of engine cleaning for high performance. A new gasoline formulated to clean fuel injectors and intake valves. Who has this new gasoline? You know who. New Phase 4 gasoline from Exxon for cleaner engines and high performance.
There is a place where luxury and affordability collide in a most comfortable way. A place where the charm of a romantic fishing village meets the luxury of a paradise resort. The one place that's two places at once. Extapas y Guataneo.
14-0 TCU. I don't know why it's so hard to come dressed properly.
I'm warm, aren't you?
I am, actually.
I know you are.
We have been talking all year about the Exxon Supreme team. Fans with the opportunity to vote for their All-Southwest Conference team this year, and we will be position by position revealing the results of that season-long balloting. As Trey Beacon, who's had a busy first quarter already, will again kick with that big win.
I was expecting you to tell me I had a lot more to keep me warm than you did.
I think that's more than evident. It does not need elaboration. This one disappears up the ramp, and that may go all the way to the locker room. Iowa State, the early lead in 30 below zero wind chill temperatures at Ames, Iowa. And Cincinnati over number 13, East Carolina. Well, if you are Houston, you're not all that worried about a 14-0 deficit because you have 7:17 still to go in the first quarter. And you got David Klingler flu and all, and you know that you will eventually get to throw with this wind, which has obviously bothered Klingler on the deep patterns he's tried so far. Again, the protection breaking down he had all day, and finally the sack by Thomas Lewis, the junior defensive tackle from Beaumont.
This is just a secondary coverage sack. Watch the time he has to come out here. His receivers are downfield, but they're covered. He looks this way, he looks back that way. Now he starts to feel the pressure. He comes here and tries to set back up again, but that's just too long.
Incomplete on second down, intended for Verlin Brown, inside receiver from Forest City, Arkansas. Klingler really off target here.
Well, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Miami game when he struggled so hard during that game, but he has great composure. That's probably his strongest attribute that he has learned this year, is composure when things are not going well.
That's what he showed the NFL scouts, where he really didn't have a chance to show that in their success the last couple of years. First down grab here for Tracy Good, and that may get something underway for the Cougs. Good's 23rd grab of the year, as opposed to 67 catches as a sophomore last year. He's had a nagging ankle injury all season.
And I can tell you, Dave, after that pass, I saw a little different bounce in David Klingler's walk.
Over the middle, caught again, and at midfield, it'll be another first down. It's Fred Gilbert.
You give this quarterback time, and he's going to find those wide receivers. There's Gilbert, just does a down and back inside. Make him plant. It's not that bad a coverage. It's just a very well-thrown ball.
Tony Rand just a half step back. And Roosevelt Collins with about a two-step head start as Tiandre Sanders bounces off tacklers and is finally corralled inside the 20 by Greg Evans. Now we'll see whether Collins was drawn off. He was in the backfield as deep as Sanders when that play started.
Yeah, it looked to me as if he just guessed the snap count, thinking it was going to come on one, and it did not. That's the call. But hasn't Tiandre Sanders really picked up for this Houston team?
We have offside on the defense. The penalty is declined. First down.
You can see now Collins will be way over on the left of your screen. But watch this when he just puts this head down. Sanders just boom right there and just keeps those feet going. 32-yard run. He's an important part of this run and shoot because you have to have a run threat. That's what Weatherspoon did so well in the past for Houston.
Probably their biggest loss off that team from last year. Chuck Weatherspoon, the superback. On the shovel, Sanders inside the 5-yard line. A staple of the Houston run and shoot. Jenkins unveils it for the first time this afternoon. And Reggie Anderson prevented a touchdown.
This is an interesting pass because it's an underhand pass. But watch the secondary drop off. As Klingler goes back here, you'll see the end is in nowhere land. They just flips it underneath. Now, if you're a secondary player, you have to quickly respond back into the ball. You have to close. But you don't close before a 10-yard gain.
First and goal, Houston. Sanders to the 3 and turn back there by Tony Rand, the strong safety. Boy, this doesn't even look like the same team, their first 2 possessions.
Well, they got a little bit of bounce. They completed a couple passes. Klingler has that confidence. He just keeps on plugging in there until things start going right. And you can see 7 plays, 76 yards on this drive.
Klingler redirecting Sanders. Probably again Collins offsides and whistles this time before the snap. Gonna guess like that, gotta guess right.
That's exactly right. You have to, they're trying to get a pass rush, and what you do is you jump and you try to guess what the snap count is. A lot of quarterbacks get into a rhythm. We saw that with Texas Tech earlier. They come out and go on that first sound. And that's what Collins has done the last couple times, is he's guessed when the ball is going to be snapped, and he's guessed wrong.
Dead ball foul. Offside on the defense. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
Jenkins with a 10-1 record, equaling the best debut ever by a head coach last year. 14-6 overall. Klingler on the roll over the middle in traffic and incomplete. A lot of purple bodies over there. Alex Molina, I think, was the man pressuring Klingler into that quick pass attempt. It'll be 3rd and goal. As always, glad to have those of you joining us on Prime Network today and its nationwide family of regional sports cable networks. 4.5 minutes in the first. Cougars down 14. Molina, early movement that time as Sanders scores. And there are no flags. Molina got back in time. Touchdown, Tiandre Sanders.
And you couldn't have called a better play. When you jump off sides and you go forward like that and try to get back and then they run right at you, you have got absolutely no ability to stop a touchdown or any kind of run. And that's what they did with Molina. They caught him going backwards and they helped him.
The all-time leading scorer in college football history, Roman Anderson, will go for his 409th career point, and he's got it.
Well, watch Molina he's going to be on the left of your screen here, the lower part. Watch him jump off sides. Now, no contact. Now watch, get back and watch. They catch him just as he's going back. And we're going to help you go back, and they just blow him right in there. He had no base underneath him to make that stop.
Well, as we said, the Exxon Supreme team, Southwest Conference voting by the fans, turned out this way this year. Bucky Richardson is the all-conference quarterback from A&M. Trevor Cobb, who may become the all-time single-season conference rushing leader, is at running back along with Robert Strait of Baylor. Kelly Blackwell is the tight end. Eric Henley of Rice. Rodney Blackshear of Texas Tech are the wideouts. And up front, Harrison from A&M, Biggers from Tech, Ellisor from A&M, and Turnpaw and Barron, both from Baylor. Defensively, Matt Sine is the nose guard. Dotson, Dronette also up front. Linebackers Paget, Buckley, Williams, and Coria. And Gunn, Crooms, Dubisky, and Smith in the secondary.
Dave, I understand 81,000 votes were cast in that.
Well, he picked a pretty good team. Roman Anderson of Houston is the kicker. Mark Bounds is the punter. The coach of the year is voted by the fans. Fred Goldsmith of Rice, and the newcomer of the year. That's a pretty easy decision to go with Greg Hill of A&M. What a freshman year he's had.
Well, interesting enough, he was a write-in candidate.
Short kick, and Hickman tripped up at the 24-yard line. A little more spark from those wearing the red and white after that scoring drive capped by Sanders, and the TCU lead is cut in half. They are at halftime, and Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Tennessee up its lead over Kentucky to 9 points. East Carolina back in front now, Cincinnati. Alvarez and Shipley right. David Lewis left. Vogler sees the blitz threatened and audibilizes and gives to Modkins. Cut back, saw some room. He'll go to the 28. You can already see the difference, and not just in the accuracy of the passes by Vogler as opposed to Schultz last week, but the ability to recognize situations.
Oh, yeah, that's the experience factor. You know, Eric Blunt has had quite a year, number 42. Watch him read this play. Slide along the line, stay square, fight across, and get in on the tackle. You can't play linebacker any better than that from the weak side.
Led him in tackles last year. He's second to Ryan McCoy this year. Colors in motion. And Vogler got it off somehow. That's an amazing job by a banged-up quarterback not to submit to the sack by Alan Aldridge.
Did you see how quick Aldridge is in there? Someone had to miss a block because there's no way a lineman gets in there that quickly. Before Vogler even got his three-step drop, Aldridge had him wrapped up.
There's another Alan Aldridge not too long ago, played for the Oilers and the Browns. That's this Alan's dad. He's a sophomore from Missouri City. Out of the shotgun this time. And much better protection. Vogler now having to scramble. And that'll be way over the head, but we'll get flags. Horned Frog coaches screaming about the hit way out of bounds against Michael Jackson, the intended receiver. And the officials over there assure Jim Wacker they did see it.
Well, you know what's interesting about this flag? It certainly was a hit out of bounds, but you don't want to take away enthusiasm. It looked like Ryan McCoy came over there, was trying to make the play, and he didn't have any idea where the side. It wasn't like he hit him cheap and late. It is a hit out of bounds. As you can see, he's diving after the play. He does hit him, but that's just aggressive play. Does that mean I'm trying to back up defensive players?
We have a dead ball, personal foul against the defense, automatic first down.
Kevin Batiste also over there. Well, the body is kind of hard to see who made most of that contact, but really a moot point because it was seen and it is a 15-yard mark on it.
I think I see Vogler limping. If that's the way he walks normally, he's got a little limp in his walk. When he walked back to the huddle there, it looked like he just kind of was just favoring one an ankle or something.
The previous play where he was twisted by Aldridge would be a real good chance to re-injure that hip if, in fact, that's what happened. Flag down again. Here's Colors to the 43 and slung out of bounds at that point by John Brown, the left corner.
And where that flag is thrown way on the side, and that's the referee's responsibility to look in at the lineup. Someone had to be in the neutral zone or jump off sides. Yep, someone has started off a little bit early.
So they gave him 15. They'll take 5 back. It'll be first 1st and 15. The real
We have
fans
the
are
illegal
out today.
formation. On the offense, we'll replay first down.
Now, what an illegal formation is that they did not have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. One of the wideouts or someone might have been in the backfield too far off the line.
As always, we announce the Southwest Airlines player of the game at the conclusion of today's telecast. Draw play, Modkins. Didn't fool anybody, especially Bevel and Aldridge, the right side of the defensive line. They combine on the stop.
It looked that time like John Marsh, number 62, missed the block, and that's something that's out of the ordinary for him. He's the right guard. Now watch him here. He has to kick out right there. He comes all the way around behind him and makes the tackle. Marsh is probably their top grader week after week.
They continue to substitute running backs by down, and it's Colors this time. They put him in motion, and Vogler will go over the middle. Catch is made at the 47-yard line by David Lewis. Junior from Baltimore, mainly a basketball player in high school, played for 3 state championship teams at legendary Dunbar High School in Baltimore.
Nice protection here by this TCU line. Don't allow a lot of penetration. There's the pocket. He's able to stand back there, find his wide out. He throws in a lot of traffic, but he delivers a strike.
Cedric Dickens checks in at running back. 3-man rotation now. Vogler chased. And will head for cover and get knocked out at the 47-yard line. Bevel over there along with him.
Well, I was going to say, if I had any idea that he had a hurt ankle, he didn't show it on that play as he scrambled outside of pressure. He has a real neat ability to be able to push off with that free arm. He just kind of almost like it's a stiff arm, but he avoids a lot of sacks with that.
Well, the drive stalls, and Trey Beacon on to kick to Steve Harris. Beacon should go for the lift on this one. Get it up, let that breeze carry it. Harris feels it at the 8. And the return up to the 17-yard line. Kick went 46 yards, and the return went 9. Well, with that performance off the bench by Klingler at Rice last week, he now has these Southwest Conference career records: 81 touchdown passes, 8,468 passing yards, 8,410 total yards, 1,129 pass attempts. He surpasses the man who used to back up Heisman winner Andre Ware.
And in talking with John Jenkins, he said that was probably one of the things that really made David Klingler, is that he would sit and watch Andre Ware and he would chart all the plays and said, "Coach, I would do this, I would do this." And John Jenkins says, "You're going to get your chance." And boy, has he made the best of that chance.
That was almost a lateral that went through Gilbert's hands. And if he was in front of Klingler, not by much. Jenkins says that he has not had a more well-developed, intelligent quarterback, and he's coached people like Jim Kelly, Doug Flutie, and Ware. And Klingler, he says, tops them all.
There's the lateral. You can see right down the line. It just about was a lateral.
Shovel pass. Sanders did well. First time they went through it. Even better this time, and he might go. The only man with a chance to prevent 6, Tony Rand, finally chases him out.
The thing that Sanders does so well is not go down by initial contact. Someone hit him in the back and had one of his feet, and he pulled clear of that and sprinted. Looks like maybe Collins had him out here. Watch Collins, see if he doesn't dive on the back of his feet. Yeah, almost trip him up. Now he gets his balance back and he's off running.
They wondered what would happen at this position when Jenkins dismissed Ostel Miles for academic and disciplinary reasons. Well, it's in good hands. Gilbert out of the tackle and to the 35. Hickman and Rand bring it into the reception by Gilbert there. Clock rolls at a minute 25 in the first quarter. Cougars go for the tying touchdown.
Big gain of 2 yards in the play.
Sanders gets a breather. Tommy Guy, his backup, a sophomore from right here in Fort Worth at O.D. Wyatt High School, is the setback. And the looping pass caught and dropped by Gilbert. That's a tough adjustment because the wind catches it, and Gilbert has to slow his momentum, look back, and try to bring it in with Rand covering it.
And this is just a flag pattern. He's going to go down and then break to the outside here. And he makes good distance here, but the ball is so high, and as you said, the wind holds it up, that the defensive back comes back in there, but he just drops. He doesn't look the ball all the way in, doesn't concentrate on that play.
Back and forth game in Cincinnati. Third down, they go to Marcus Grant. He cuts inside, has the first down to the 23 where Reggie Anderson makes the ankle tackle.
Dave, this is almost like a slip screen. What you do is the receiver takes one step forward, comes back, and catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Watch, now he comes back, catches the ball. Now he's got to pick up those big offensive linemen. And there they are. You see 65 and 70 out there. That's Clapp and Youngblood out there making those blocks and allow him to cut underneath.
To the sideline and incomplete. Tracy Good, the intended receiver. And 29 seconds until Houston will get the win behind him. Second and 10. Brown, Good, and Gilbert all left. Grant is to the short side, wide right. And on the draw play, Sanders almost got away from the initial hit. Brad Smith finishes him off, and he'll lose yardage on what might be the final play of the first quarter.
Loss of 1.
Boy, he ran into a wall up front. They had that play diagnosed very well. Stuffed it in the middle, and he wasn't able to bounce outside.
If I'm Houston, I'm in no great hurry to get this off into the wind, and they will allow time to expire, and they'll turn around and go for the tying touchdown as the second quarter will get underway. Through one in Fort Worth, 14-7 TCU.
You're free to get out of the house. You're free to get out of town. You're free to pick your pace up without being tied down. You're free to leave anytime, go in any direction, and still stay in touch, 'cause you got connection.
For the phones, pagers, and directories that put you in the right place anytime, call Southwestern Bell.
With Southwestern Bell, you got great connection.
It's Domino's Pizza's new pan pizza. Great pan pizza plus our 30-minute guarantee. Now a medium with any 2 toppings, just $8.99. 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pan pizza at home.
Domino's new premium zesty pan pizza. Just try it. We guarantee you'll like it better than anyone else's pan pizza, or it's free. Call now and get 1 medium pan pizza with 2 toppings for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
I listen to KRLD because I like to stay informed.
Because I'm in business, and I don't think that anybody today in business or making any kind of investments or buying a home or doing anything can afford not to be informed.
I pride myself in knowing what's going on, and I think that, it shows you're an educated person.
I guess I'm a curious person. I like to know what's going on.
How can anyone have time to really sit down and read the paper every day? I don't know. I wish I did. But I have KRLD, and that's really all I need.
Dave Barnett, Dave Rowe back at Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, where it's 14-7 for now. A very threatening Houston drive will continue as the second quarter opens. Cougars get the 20-25 mile an hour wind at their backs. And look at third down and 11. Frogs threaten the blitz. Klingler play calling accordingly and has time. A shot to Grant, touchdown.
Touchdown, Houston.
I was a little bit surprised that Jim Wacker didn't call timeout on that third down play and utilize that wind one more time in a third down and 11, but he allowed them to run the clock out. So now they got the wind at their back, and boy, you said it. You called it right, a shot. He threw that ball in there, just bang, right to Grant.
There's the 4th leading receiver in the nation. And Grant with a 7th touchdown catch of the year. Anderson for the extra point is good, and we are tied. Grant, the junior from Dallas Carter, a star on their state championship team, really catches a dart here from Klingler.
Well, this is just a fly, just go straight out. With that wind at his back, and he just looks it right in. It looks like pitch and catch on that play. Again, that little short, strong side roll by Klingler, square up to the line, and boom, throw that ball in there. Perfectly thrown ball.
He throws that with as much velocity as any other quarterback would, setting back, and a good 7-step drop off the back foot with classic motion. That time he's off balance, off the wrong foot, and it's like a Nolan Ryan fastball.
Well, he snaps his body when he throws it, so he doesn't really need that drive forward with his feet. He has such a great abdominals and snaps and throws that ball. He gets a lot of chances to practice. And you're averaging, what, 50, 60 passes a game.
Check the first quarter statistics. 112 to 15 passing yards, 138-65 total yards. Houston with the numbers except for on the scoreboard. And on the first play of the second quarter, they take care of that. And Anderson will kick to Mike Houston and Toby Morey.
Well, Dave, one of the signs of a good football team is when you don't panic and you're down 14 points. And there was no panic in Houston's approach.
Low liner. Morey wants no part of it. And the 14-0 lead didn't last at all as long as TCU would have liked. They can't be all that shocked. This is, after all, Houston they're playing.
Well, they have to know this scoring machine. Even in that Miami game, I said to John Jenkins, I said, well, what did you say to your team at halftime? He said, I told him this. I said, guys, the way we can score points, we can come back in this football game. And he said, I firmly believe that. So, and we've seen them score at will. So 14 points is not a big lead.
Vogler incomplete, intended for David Lewis. He's taken a few hits that might exacerbate that hip problem that he carried for the last couple of weeks. But whatever he takes, as long as he's standing on 2 legs, he is going to be out there today.
Yeah, he's a lot better than the backup, who has no experience. They lost Aaron Schultz last week to a separation, and we saw their third-team quarterback warm up this week.
There are colors to the 25. Yeah, they figured, what are the odds on even Schultz going down? He was the 4th different starter at quarterback. Sure enough, he did late in the first half with a separated shoulder. That meant Dennis Larson, a somewhat mysterious walk-on from California with very little knowledge about his background and the junior college ranks in California. He played most of the second half and with 12 for 36. He's the backup today. You wouldn't believe who the third-team quarterback is today. Modkins will not get the first down. He'll be about 3 yards shy. If something happens to both Vogler and Larson today, Baraka Harper, wide receiver Baraka Harper is the quarterback. He played that position a little bit as a high school junior. That's his qualification if worse comes to worse today.
Well, it was really interesting, one of the comments by Jim Wacker. I said, boy, Coach, you just seem so laid back, and you know he is just a bundle of nerves out there. He said, hey, when you're down to your 5th quarterback, you don't get excited. You don't get nervous. You're just happy to be out there.
That is Linton Weatherspoon being helped off. Defensive tackle, brother Chuck. Sophomore from La Habra, California. Favoring the right leg. Trey Beacon kicked 44 yards with the win. Steve Harris expects to get this one at his 43. Big rush comes. They pick it up well. And it will go out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it. Houston's going to get outstanding field position out of this one. At the Frog, 49 is where they'll take over. In a tie game with 13:36 to play in the first half when we return after this from Southwest Airlines.
Time to rise and shine, fun seekers. Southwest Airlines fun fairs are back.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now you really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines' new fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
With us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now you really should fly. And you'll have fun flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair today.
So we're enjoying our favorite spot, and we see this old guy. Hey, Bobs! Then there was this huge wave. We thought the old guy was history. That was hot. Anyway, we were impressed.
Guru dude, want a cold bud? Groovy.
Groovy. Despite our language differences, all surfers share a universal communication. Oops. Whoa.
There's a change taking place across America. People are rediscovering the things that really matter. Caring for one another. Living a simpler life. The pleasures of home and family. These values have always been a part of the Farm Bureau tradition. And they're the reason people from every walk of life are turning to Farm Bureau for quality insurance protection. Home, auto, life, value. Helping you is what we do best.
Today's Game Tracer brought to you by the Schick Tracer. Punter Charles Langston's fumble snap set up a TCU touchdown. Klingler took a while to get on track, but he's on target now. And after leading 14-0, it's tied at 14. Cougars try to keep their offensive roll going. They take over just barely in TCU territory after just a 22-yard kick by Beacon. And Klingler slings it again, complete to the 32-yard line. Daniel Adams, a redshirt freshman from Schulenburg, with his 8th catch of the year, beating Tony Rand.
And you said he slings it. He does. He almost throws it sidearm underneath some rush. It looked like he just kind of flipped it. It looked a little like Bernie Kosar there for a second.
Sonny Jurgensen.
Yes.
Not too many sidearmers have done well. And with every completion, he sets a new Southwest Conference career record. He has broken another Andre Ware record. They just keep falling to the sideline, and almost a grab for Grant. He had to pay attention to where his feet were going to come down, and that might have distracted him enough.
It certainly did, because that ball went right through his hands. You see Klingler said, that's my fault a little bit, but you've got to concentrate on that football. It's a very catchable ball, and he was wide open down the sideline.
Listen in along with the Cougars to the play calling of Klingler. This time Grant holds on, and what a shot he took by Edward Gallavy.
Pass is complete to Marcus Grant.
This is the way you catch the football. You concentrate on catching the football. He knew he was going to get hit. The ball is just kind of floated out there. It's not delivered with that great velocity. See the trajectory of it. Now look, he knows he's going to get hit. Concentrate, boom, get that shoulder down, take that contact. Boy, he's going to be another one of those great wide receivers. He's got another year coming back.
First and goal at the 7. Cougars have moved Kevin Blyer in at center, and Brad Wiggin moves from center to left guard. And Klingler dropped all the way back at the 17. Brad Smith from middle linebacker.
When there's nowhere for Klingler to go, this was going to be that little shovel pass underneath. But the man either got caught up in the rush or something. When Klingler came out with it, watch his action. When he starts to come out here, now see, he's going to pass underneath. But he can't. Someone's right in his face. So he's got to just take the ball down with him.
It's Brad Smith's second sack of the year. And you wonder if that center shuffle made it easier for Smith to pour right up the middle. Center, a major injury problem all year for Houston. On the roll, now the scramble. Into the end zone, all alone for the touchdown, Marcus Grant. And the Cougars take the lead.
Well, I'll tell you, for a defensive lineman, there's nothing that frustrates defensive linemen more than to have a quarterback that's big and strong and able to kind of push you off, move around in the pocket, and just take more and more time. The same thing is true for the secondary. You're standing out there, you're trying to cover him, and this quarterback's running all over the place. And he finally, and of course, with the vision that Klingler has, he finds the wide open man in the end zone.
Kenny Perry will hold for another Roman Anderson PAT. 21-14 Houston. They should call this pattern the Maytag Repairman pattern. You cannot get any lonelier than Marcus Grant at the back of the end zone.
Well, watch how he just kind of pushes him off. See, just push him off. Don't bother me. Now he picks up Grant in the back of the end zone, and you'll watch how wide open Grant is. He's the only one close.
Still 11:45 to go as the Cougars run and shoot their way to the lead here in Fort Worth.
How to improve your home involves some difficult decisions.
You know, we could use a bigger kitchen.
Nuh-uh. A new bath.
Kitchen.
A new bath.
We could use a...
At NCNB, we don't think financing should be one of them.
Okay, a bath. Upstairs.
Upstairs?
That's why we've set up a loan information line. Call with your questions or stop by and see a loan specialist. Then tell us what's on your mind.
Okay, I got it. A garage.
A deck.
A garage.
1-800-ASK-NCNB.
Sweetheart.
The loan source.
Yes?
I want a deck.
Excuse me, do you always change your own motor oil?
Every 3,000 miles, just like clockwork.
Tell me, what do you do with it?
Well, let me show you. Just changed this. This is last year's. That's the '85 Mustang. That's my wife's old Buick. Boy, could that car fly.
Well, why not bring your used motor oil to any participating Exxon station, and we'll have it recycled through our used motor oil recycling program. Stop by any Exxon station for information on locations and restrictions.
72, 63, 65.
You gotta be kidding. Woo! What's in is out, what's out is in. So many trends make my poor head spin. Don't sell me good taste, I know I taste good. While the best thing's always so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper, we want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste is made to order, we love it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered.
Well, this thing has really turned around, and a Marcus Grant fan awful happy about it. His mother has seen him score the last 2 Houston touchdowns. We said Marcus from Dallas Carter having a huge first half in this 21-point Houston run. Morey may turn this one into big yardage. Got away from Anderson, the kicker, and finally knocked out by Kenny Perry at the 31.
Well, I bet he broke 6 or 7 tackles on that run. Morey with the great return. He had a 20-yard average kickoff return, and he keeps it intact here. Catches the ball very high. Now watch the number of people that he just kind of breaks through. There's one. Comes back out here. He's going to make another move back inside. There's another one. There's another one. Did a good job.
So Vogler on first down, the give to Modkins. And Weatherspoon is okay. He's back in and combined along with Eric Blunt, the strong side linebacker, for the tackle. You know, it was 56-35 Houston last year. We didn't think we'd approach those numbers today. We might. at this rate.
We're having we thought, well, it's going to be a close game, but you know that's not true whenever you have a Houston team out there because they score so quickly.
Colors on the draw play. Nice cutback. Great instincts for this true freshman in the first down. A lot of stuff you just don't coach in him.
Exactly right. Quick feet. That's something that every coach loves. Watch how quickly he makes those cuts. Picks up his lineman nice. Cuts back underneath. There's going to be one cut back inside. Now watch this one right here. Spin. Get right back up. That's the makings of a great back. No wonder they're so excited about his future here.
4 two-touchdown games in his freshman year. Modkins is back in. He goes off tackle to midfield, where Tracy Gentry, backup defensive end, makes the initial contact.
Well, Dave, one of the things that we felt that they had to do, well, there's a surprise Iowa State over Colorado.
Colorado still with some Orange Bowl hopes.
But one of the things I was going to say that TCU had to do in this football game was to control the football. Keep it away from that Houston offense, and they're doing it with ground control. That's a little bit surprising.
That's what they just could not do at Texas last week. Not even a hint of a ground threat. Option pitch to Colors to the 43. And he might be shaken up. He got a late hit he didn't expect. Not late enough to flag by Ryan McCoy, but Colors will limp off.
What happened on that play, McCoy was diving for him and dove on the back of his legs after he was down. Perhaps we can see it on the tail end when he goes down. Now watch McCoy come in late. Not intentional, but you see he falls on the back of his legs. Here again is that same play. You'll see McCoy right there trip and go over top of his legs.
So back in is Modkins to the 40.
Now this is one way you don't let the wind affect your passing game. You run the football.
Worked pretty well so far on this drive, but that mainly because of Colors, and we'll check on his condition. Speaking of the drive, average field position with the win for Houston midfield against their own 18. Houston 45 with the win for the Frogs, their own 26 against the win. Out of the shotgun, it is Vogler scrambling and dropped at the 44-yard line. Len Cadrez, left defensive end, got it.
Well, anytime a defensive lineman wears number 40, you know he had to be a linebacker at some time. Cadrez has got that great speed down the line. He didn't let Vogler get outside of him.
They were rolling along, top 3 in the nation unbeaten last year when he went down with an injury, and they were never the same defense after. Only loss at Texas, coinciding with that injury to Cadrez and some others. Vogler caught at the 36, Blackwell's 3rd grab of the day, but short of a first down. And the Frogs say, let's go for it, and you would expect them to definitely go for it into the win. On the career catch list, on up the ladder, 4th, passing Emmanuel Tolbert of SMU.
And Dave, you can see the harness that Blackwell has on there. That's for the rib protection. He said he felt like the Pillsbury Doughboy when he was playing last week because he had so many rib pads on.
On 4th and a short 2, Vogler almost intercepted by James Bevel.
Boy, Bevel had the play of his day, probably the play of his year, right in his hands. Like a good defensive lineman, though, he knocked that ball down. Now, McCoy blitzes on this play, and that's really, you see him in the middle. Watch, they're going to come right up there, Blunt and McCoy, and they're going to get great pressure on him. Now, it's trying to throw back. Look at Bevel, right in my hands. Oh, Coach, I had it.
Bad place. And on downs, Houston will take over, still leading. 21-14, halfway mark quarter number 2.
You know what the worst thing about that play is for Bevel? When he gets and watches those films, everybody's going to razz him. Great hands. Way to look it in.
Throw back to Gilbert out of one tackle, and then look at the pursuit by Roosevelt Collins. Collins coming from defensive end to stop any hopes Gilbert might have had of turning that into a big gainer. Tennessee upping its margin over Kentucky in the 3rd. Grant comes to the bottom of your screen, lone wide out right, the other 3 left. And Rand threatens safety blitz. They send Sanders right up the middle, and a first down at midfield. Houston spreads the defense, and Mike Moulton finally makes the tackle, and that is where the run, part of the run and shoot, is most effective.
It certainly is. That's what really makes the run and shoot, having that run threat. Here's the secondary coverage, and you can see how quickly they have to come up. Everybody has to stop, plant, and get back up to the football. And now you start, instead of covering one of those little defensive backs at about 160 pounds, you're trying to tackle somebody at 220 pounds.
Deep for Grant, too deep. But he was running free. Perfect throw. The nail him at about the 10-yard line.
Klingler had an option that time, too. He had Freddie Gilbert right down the middle. Didn't find him. Those are good stats for a full game, not just the first half.
For anybody but David Klingler. Absolutely right. Daniel Adams into the game, top of your screen. Then we goes the other way. Verlin Brown to the 40. He'll be close for another first down. He played wishbone running back and quarterback in high school in Forest City, Arkansas. And Jenkins says that makes him a perfect run and shoot wide receiver because he's got all the moves.
Well, so many people question Klingler coming back this year. The fact that he had such a fabulous year last year, and this year he struggled, but I'm a great fan of David Klingler. I think he's become a better professional prospect because of this year. He's proven that when he's under pressure, he still does not lose his composure.
And as they measure, a good comparison as they come up just short. You look back at Vinny Testaverde, who never had to show what he would do behind a less than stellar offensive line and what he would do with a sack, a possibility on every play. And he comes into a situation in Tampa Bay where that is the case. And look what's happened to his career. Klingler now has an idea of what he can do. And more importantly, the NFL scouts have an idea of what he can do if he does indeed get drafted high enough to go to a team without much blocking. That's a real good possibility.
Well, remember Troy Aikman, he learned that also his first year in. But Klingler never loses composure. What you do is you look at the quarterback's face when things are going bad, and you don't see an expression change on him. He just has complete control of his emotions.
Take the inside give, airs it out for Grant, and 3rd touchdown of the half for Marcus Grant.
Touchdown, Houston, Marcus Grant, end zone.
Well, boy, isn't Mrs. Grant glad that he came a long way. She came a long way to watch this. There is a flag down in the end zone.
That might be an after the touchdown celebration flag. 3 today, 9 on the year for Marcus. Touchdown, of course, standing.
That's what it is.
Well, people remember back to the Miami game and the last play of the game where he did a little uncalled for end zone dance. He says his sister especially got on him.
We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. The touchdown is good. The penalty would be enforced on the kickoff.
A lot of people got on him, especially his sister, and he promised her that if he ever did it again, he would pick his spot better.
Well, after you catch touchdown, if I'm a coach for Houston, I don't mind that a whole lot. I mean, I don't want to see you taunt somebody and do all that, but
when it's 40-3, I think you mind it.
That's true.
But here, Anderson makes it 28-14. Klingler dialed his number for the third time for points.
Well, again, this is just a fly pattern straight down the field. See the separation now. The safety's supposed to come over and help. Now watch him try to concentrate. He doesn't know where he is. See him trying to keep his feet in bounds, and he was about 4 yards in bounds, but good concentration. Greg Evans really should have come over and made this play. He's the safety coverage, but he's late getting over there and allows Grant to be wide open in the end zone.
28 unanswered Houston points, and we return after this from Southwest Airlines.
Because most of our flights are short, this is what our meals look like on Southwest Airlines. It's also what our fares look like. Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has one of the best on-time records in the country.
Mr. Smith, you're early.
Just something to remember. Southwest Airlines.
It isn't the night or even the fog that gets you. It's when the team leader puts you in charge for the first time. And you decide to drop right inside Alpha Team's backyard. That's when you find out how good you really are.
The creators of the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, proudly present the stunning new Mitsubishi Eclipse for 1992. Because nothing livens up a family like a little sibling rivalry. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
The 92 Eclipse. Available now at your Dallas-Fort Worth area Mitsubishi Motors dealer.
Not much time still to go in the first half, and Houston and Morey move up to the 7-yard line, and after the mark-off of 15 yards, Roman Anderson will have to kick from his own 20. Brisket Howard holds it steady, and a great kick. Returned to the 27-yard line by Mike Houston. I think the wind didn't a factor today. Out of the 6 touchdowns that have been scored, 5 have been scored with the wind.
You saw how quickly TCU took advantage of that wind in the first quarter, scoring both their touchdowns. Klingler's come back in the second period and taken advantage of it.
Only one scored into the wind was the 1-yard run by Sanders. Modkins to the 30. A bit of a personality change as Michigan really running it up on Ohio State now. A little personality change for TCU. They normally would be throwing much more often than running, and today, as you said, in trying to shorten the game and keep the ball away from Klingler, relying much more heavily than we've seen him for a long time on the running game. Trying to keep the running backs fresh, alternating 3. On the rush, Bevel might have gotten a hand on that attempted screen by Vogel. Houston's 4th scoring drive of the day, covered 65 yards in 5 plays.
37. Didn't take long, minute and 31 seconds.
Drive before that, also less than 2 minutes. Looking more and more like last year.
It certainly is.
They need 7 on 3rd down. Vogler shotgun with time, and over the middle, and the nearest man was Kevin Batiste. Shipley, I guess, the intended receiver. He was on the sideline. He was 15 yards away from that one.
Well, that ball certainly wasn't thrown with any type of authority. It just kind of floated off his hand. May have slipped out of his hand. Again, it's cold, and the grip on the football is a lot different for the quarterbacks when it's cold. Not the drive TCU needed.
3 and out, blocked. And the Beacon kick recovered at the 25-yard line. And Houston threatening to blow this one wide open. That is Carlos Leon, who along with Kenny Perry poured in on Trey Beacon.
Well, the snap was high too, but Beacon just took too much time. You can't allow that many people to get in there. The snap was high.
Perry, the man that got it. Leon, the man that recovers it. Kenny from nearby Arlington. So the Cougars will try to drive it 24.5 yards. And Klingler wants it all on this play over the head of Fred Gilbert. Flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10.
That's an interesting call. I think that was offsides, but I've never seen it with the palms out like that unless you're really cold.
Well, this is why they have a microphone. Sometimes they need to explain.
Well, we'll wait for it.
We have a chop block against the offense, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Now, I thought the signal for a chop block was down in front of your knees. Now, chop block is you can't cut him down by the ankles, and that's what he did. The offensive lineman drops back and chops down at the legs. Let's watch and see if we see it. See 31 come into your picture there? That's a chop block right there.
Sanders, the running back, against Royal West, the defensive tackle.
In other words, one person kind of keeps his attention, and then in comes the running back in to chop him down.
4:55 in the half. First and 27. Major mark off. And the two number ones at the 20 vying for that one. Tony Rand almost had an interception. Tracy Good almost had a grab that could have gone all the way.
Well, this is a triple wide out on the near side of the field here, down here. And all you do is one drops back, two run out in patterns, and you just try to make the defensive people mess up. Each one has a coverage. Nice recovery there by Rand on the play. He had Good all the way.
Sophomore from Aldine makes it second and 27. Intended again for Gilbert. He ran a different pattern than the one Klingler called for. And it bounced right in front of Evans. We saw Colors a few moments ago limping off, and they have wrapped heavily that right ankle.
And 27.
And he did have an ankle injury earlier than the year, and that's the type of injury you get when someone falls on the back of your legs. You stretch that ankle out. Boy, East Carolina making a comeback. Boy, they've had a Cinderella season this year.
West giving chase, and Klingler fumbles as he goes out of bounds. And it is still Houston ball, but Brad Wallace came up from behind David Klingler to cause that fumble. And an injured Horned Frog down. That would appear to be Royal West. He's the man that Klingler probably saw coming on. He probably didn't see Wallace coming up from behind.
Well, the most vulnerable place a quarterback can get hit is from the back. And there's the fumble. Fortunately for the Cougars, it bounces out of bounds. Here touched and goes out of bounds.
That is West. He was being blocked by Mike Giesler. And he'll try to walk it off.
One of my name team players, Royal West.
Along with his brother Rock. Let's pause briefly for station identification on the Raycom network. (28-14) Houston from Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth on the campus at TCU. 4:36 to go in the half. And the long walk continues toward the Frog sideline for Royal West. And when it rains, it pours. That's a cliche, but it's a monsoon of injuries on TCU this year.
How about a 61-yard field goal try? Think Anderson's got that kind of leg?
Well, he holds the school record, a 53-yarder against A&M this year. With this wind, we'll see. And that is going to be way off right, but he had that kind of leg.
He certainly did. He had the distance. Boy, that was an important series for the Horned Frogs, because if they give up a touchdown there, then they're fighting an uphill battle. They came out and gave they gave Houston the ball on about the 23, 24-yard line and were able to hold them.
Coming up at halftime, test your knowledge of the Southwest Conference with the Southwest Airlines Trivia Tester. We'll also visit with TCU Athletic Director Frank Windegger, and we'll meet this week's classroom champions. All this plus first half highlights at halftime. Modkins for TCU.
Brought down by James Bevel.
James Bevel with the tackle at the 46, and the clock rolls at 4:18. At Arkansas, this is the final game in the Southwest Conference for the Razorbacks. Fred Goldsmith would dearly love to send them to the SEC with an L. But a Todd Wright field goal has them on the board. Modkins got 3. Dickens replaces him on 2nd and 7. Aldridge gave pressure for Vogler, and it's incomplete, intended for Lewis, being covered tightly by Tyrone Davis.
Well, Aldridge looked like he's hurt. He's down on the field. It may be his ankle. He got great pressure that time.
It's an epidemic of ankle injuries.
Boy, it is. Now he's the outside end here, 96. He makes a great move. He's got, really, they missed him. And watch his foot when he puts it down right in there. You see how he turns his ankle out, then reaches down and grabs that ankle? But he's up walking around. That's the difference between those defensive linemen and those wideouts, those receivers. They get a little tiny nick, they're out of the game. Defensive linemen, you can about break your ankle and you're back up walking.
Vogler is 7 of 15, but he's hit only 2 of his last 9. Blitz comes on 3rd down. Catch is made. He'll be close for the first down. It's Angel Alvarez, true freshman from Mission. They may need to measure this one. Alvarez figures to get a lot of activity in the future. 5'8", 162-pounder, all-state. 67 catches his senior year in high school. Caught him from Coy Detmer, Ty's brother. For Sonny Detmer, Ty's father, the coach down at Mission. And just enough for the TCU first down.
Well, Vogler's making nice play selections, Davies. Going into that stiff wind, he's using the run a lot. He's using the pass when he really needs it. But they are controlling the football. They're keeping the ball away from Houston. But you've got to turn these drives into points.
Little swing pass. Blackwell might take this one in. The only Cougar with a chance knocked him out, and it was John W. Brown. But Blackwell continues a big first half, rib pads and pain and all.
Well, people say he's too short. People say that, well, he's got great desire. But let me tell you, he does play hard football. And he turns what is just a little simple pass, getting upfield. It's probably made maybe to pick up 5-7 yards. Now it's just put it away and run. And he has good speed for a tight end. At 240 pounds, he can go downfield quickly.
5 more for the record. Modkins, big hole right side, touchdown. The feels a lot warmer all of a sudden on that side. Modkins has his second touchdown of the day, his 6th of the year, and the Frogs are a Wilkinson extra point away from being back within 7.
And what a different Jim Wacker on the sidelines. Last week he stood there with his arms folded all week and suffered along with his team. This week he's back to his old style, jumping around, patting players on the back, grabbing them, encouraging them, shaking them, yelling at them. He's back.
Extra point is good.
Modkins is justifying all that praise John Jenkins gave him. Having a big first half.
Boy, what a block there by John Marsh, 62. He's just driven his man all the way into the back, all the way into the defensive secondary.
12 carries, 43 yards, 2 scores for Curtis Modkins.
Well, it's not the defensive struggle that we anticipated. I don't think anybody anticipated a defensive struggle.
A lot of people are paying the price today. You ever tried to play a flute when the wind chill is below 30? TCU should have turned this bench situation around and given themselves the sunlight today. They're over there shivering in the shadows on the near sideline. Clemson with the early lead at South Carolina. Jim Wacker looks up, sees 3 minutes and 16 seconds still to go in the first half. And he says, boy, if only we could have stretched it out and scored on the last play of the half. That's an eternity for Klingler as Sanders returns the kick to give the Cougars good field position at their 35.
Well, that is an eternity when you stop and look. As you said, their last 2 drives have been in about the minute-and-a-half range. With this wind at your back and Klingler's arm, the speed he's got going downfield, that is a long time.
Well, this one only took 1:15 for TCU to go 5 plays and 57 yards. Blackwell with the big play to set him up 1st and goal.
You see the hand warmer that Klingler has around his waist? You just stick your hands in that. Keeps them warm, keeps those fingers warm so you can feel that football.
Inside give, big yardage, Tiandre Sanders to the TCU 43. He bites off a 22-yarder before Mike Moulton's tackle. Sanders 6 carries, 69 yards.
I talked earlier about how important this part of the run and shoot is to keep those linemen honest. And watch when he gets hit here. He just puts that down that shoulder. And very rarely is he pulled down by one person. He just kind of bowls over him in there.
Got a good combination of abilities for the position he plays in this system. They try him again, right tackle this side, and the Frogs were ready. Brad Smith first of all, and then Rand. But Sanders big enough to withstand some hits up the middle at 215 pounds. Good blocker, north-south type, doesn't juke a whole lot, doesn't mess around, goes right up the middle. And we've seen his speed. They wondered what would happen when Ostel Miles was dismissed from the team. What's happened is Sanders has claimed this position for his own. He's got 2 more years.
Well, you have to admire a coach that takes their #1 running back and dismisses them for a lack of attendance in classes. That's what John Jenkins did.
Here's Grant. Hickman with a tackle at the 38. And if he doesn't make it, Grant has another touchdown, and David Klingler holding the left wrist.
You can see Klingler's in pain. When you're bent over like that and he's holding, let's see if in fact he didn't come down on that left wrist when he fell. Oh, he takes a shot in the shoulder and puts his hand down.
Smith came on a blitz. I don't know if it was his contact or the way he landed.
That's what I thought. Perhaps he put his left hand down to break his fall. That is a tough competitor right there.
Well, timeout with 1:41 in the first half.
And I was talking again with John Jenkins about him last week, and he told me he was standing on the sideline. We're down 14 points. He said he kind of moseyed up next to me and said, "Coach, I'll give it a try if you think I can help." And John Jenkins turned around and said, "Well, do you think you can play?" And he turned around and said, "I'll do my best." And boy, his best was quite a day last week.
Then you think back a couple of weeks ago to the Texas game, and it seemed like every play they gave him another injury. And whatever he could do, he did in that game and brought the Cougars back to win 23-14. And Jenkins says, with all his other attributes, willingness to study and learn, the intelligence, the arm, which is one of the best I think either one of us has ever seen. A lot of people who've seen more football than us say the same thing in college football. The toughness is the thing that Jenkins says he possesses over any quarterback he's ever had. Sanders coughed it up, and it is a TCU recovery. Tony Rand, but a flag is down.
I think Roosevelt Collins guessed wrong again. Now, this is 3 times. As a defensive lineman, you have got to look in at that football. You can guess once or twice, and your coach won't get upset. But what a huge turn this will be, because Collins was obviously offsides. If he's not pulled offsides, this is a big turnaround for TCU. Instead of them having the football and stopping the drive, they're going to give it back to Houston.
That was Tunji Bolden putting up the big argument, number 91.
Well, let's look at the top of your screen here. It's way up at the top, and maybe it is Bolden. You see him start off right there? I thought it was Collins' position. May, in fact, have been Bolden, but it was the outside man.
Yeah, definitely wasn't Bolden. He's the left end. Collins, you saw the right end.
It was Collins from his spot.
Well, and in a 7-point game, with 1:32 to go, if TCU gets that back, that's time to maybe tie it up at halftime.
Certainly is. The way they moved the football on the ground. Now they're going to give the football back to Houston, give them 3 more shots, give them 5 free yards. The big question now is whether it's a first down or not. It was 3rd down and just about 5 yards. So this could, in fact, give them a first down.
On that
we have
far
offside on the defense. The penalty is enough for a first down. First down.
On the far sideline, they measured to determine it is enough for the first down. And the Cougars will go from the Frog 33, and the clock rolls inside 90 seconds. Sanders gets a breather. Tommy Guy is the super back.
Come on, defense! Come on,
Frogs blitz. Klingler hoists one up over Gilbert. Most of his attempts toward Gilbert, the nation's receiving leader, have been overthrown today.
Well, one of the things TCU has to realize in this situation, you want to get pressure on Klingler. But if for some chance you get stopped and you don't get pressure, you've got all your defensive secondary are covering one-on-one. And you've got some pass receivers that can flat out run some great routes. So if you're going to blitz, you have got to get there.
Gilbert out, replaced by Sherman Smith, who goes wide left, along with Good. On 2nd and 10, inside give to Guy to the 25. It'll be 3rd and a long one as we'll go under 1 minute in the first half. Mike Moulton and Tony Rand on the tackle. And they think Moulton has a great future. Redshirt freshman from Arlington, Sam Houston. Just a ferocious hitter. Pump fake, deep. Verlin Brown open, touchdown. His 4th of the year, the pump fake made the play go.
Well, if you ever saw coordination between a quarterback and his wide receiver, that's the greatest example of it right there. When he saw Brown was open on the inside, that the coverage was the outside, it almost looked like in his fake pump, he said, hey, turn around and come inside. He did. He threw the ball up to him, and Brown comes down with a touchdown. But you see the result of that simple little offsides penalty. It was 3rd down and 5. They had recovered the football. They had stopped the drive. They give it back to him, and you see the result, 7 points. Well, again, now watch Klingler here. It's almost as if he says, hey, come on back inside. He throws the ball inside where the coverage is not. You see Brown come back inside. Great adjustment there. Again, here's the pattern. Go downfield. Now they're trying to do a lot of single coverage here. Give off and try to recover back with a corner. That's Hickman trying to come from a corner spot back over to pick up for the safety. That's awfully hard to do.
That might have just been a 14-point swing, assuming that TCU could have driven down and tied the score, and instead Wacker right back down by 14 after leading by 14.
Well, a great coach I had, a fellow named John Madden, used to always say that every football game is decided by 5 or 6 plays. That is one of them right there. That little simple offside seems like a simple enough 5-yard penalty, and it turns into, a, as you say, possibly a 14-point swing.
Still 39 seconds. Roman Anderson adding to his NCAA scoring record, up to 413 points with his 5 PATs this half. Houston and Morey deep. This will be Morey at the goal line. Does not get far. The 14 with a flag down from way over on the near sideline. The side judge spotting an infraction.
I thought that was a face mask. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like the hand went up into the face mask.
As usual, your radar is on target.
Oh, that's the big one. 15 yards.
We have a personal foul, grasping the face mask on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
It's Thomas Lewis being helped off.
On the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And the latest Houston scoring drive covered a relatively long 2 minutes, 37 seconds, 6 plays, 65 yards. Modkins, little opening right side near the 35. And unless TCU wants to try to go without a huddle, that should be the last play of the first half. Momentum swings, the story of this first half. TCU off to the quick 14-0 lead. 28 unanswered Houston points. TCU back to within 7. And then the Brown touchdown. They get this one off with 2 seconds. It's Cedric Dickens. And that will do it for the first half at Amon Carter Stadium. It has been the David Klingler and Marcus Grant show for the most part, and Houston will take a 14-point lead into their halftime locker room. Southwest Conference football on Raycom is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by Norwegian Cruise Line, by Exxon, by Mexico Tourism. And remember, drive safely. Don't wreck your life.
Larry Zonka, 3 straight Super Bowls. After that, he went to sea. Sports personalities, as well as our own team of sports instructors, help host Norwegian Cruise Line cruises. No other cruise line has such an all-star lineup. Norwegian Cruise Line, the best vacation you've ever had. Plus, contact with someone like number 39, Larry Zonka.
Turn on Raycom and turn on excitement. the best in sports. Turn on Raycom.
For over 25 years, the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics has brought the team concept to athletic administration. Over 3,000 dedicated professionals helping each other to balance budgets, raise funds, manage current issues, and more. Plus, the NACTA Foundation provides drug education, as well as scholarship grants and internships for student athletes. Academic responsibility, athletic excellence. That's the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics.
How to improve your home involves some difficult decisions.
You know, we could use a bigger kitchen.
Nuh-uh. A new bath.
Kitchen.
A new bath.
We could use
At NCNB, we don't think financing should be one of them.
Okay, a bath. Upstairs.
Upstairs.
That's why we've set up a loan information line. Call with your questions or stop by and see a loan specialist. Then tell us what's on your mind.
Okay, I got it. A garage.
A deck.
A garage.
1-800-ASK-NCNB.
Sweetheart.
The loan source.
Yes?
I want a deck.
Space, a new frontier in scientific research. The University of Houston is a leader in space education and research, located minutes from NASA's Johnson Space Center. As a space grant college and a center for the commercial development of space, the university works with NASA and industry on everything from the next generation of semiconductors to the space stations of tomorrow. The University of Houston, exploring the future of space.
Here in Fort Worth, Houston leads TCU 35-21 at halftime. Now let's go down to the field and be entertained by the University of Houston marching band.
Now I can teach you the best in talent of the University of Houston, This year, the lovely song will be traveling to Japan as the head of the Coca-Cola Bowl to be held in Tokyo. Watch now and enjoy the Cougar Dolls in their feature presentation, Mama Don't Dance.
We'll be back with more of our halftime show right after these messages.
Mission Control, we're initiating the docking sequence now.
Roger. It's looking really terrific on this end. Everything's a go.
Roger, Mission Control. Trajectory's right on track. Down just a couple. Lining up nicely.
Whataburger is proud to announce an historic event. Now we've joined the great taste of lean, thick-sliced bacon with all your favorites at Whataburger.
Mission Control, the docking sequence has been completed.
You've just made a lot of folks real happy down here.
Did you know the Chevy Lumina Euro is roomier and has a more powerful engine than Honda Accord? It comes with standard anti-lock brakes and Scotch-Guard seats. Accord LX doesn't. Don't forget Chevy's new 3-year, 36,000-mile, no-deductible warranty. Best of all, Lumina Euro sedan costs over $1,000 less than Accord LX sedan. Buy one now from your North Texas Chevy Geo dealers and you'll save $1,300. So instead of keeping up with the Joneses, now you can quietly laugh behind their backs.
Hey, when you plan your vacation to paradise, you need divine guidance. You need the Cozumel Connection.
Spend 8 days and 7 nights enjoying the fun, nightlife, sun-drenched beaches, and gin-clear diving waters of Mexico's most intriguing island, Cozumel. This heavenly escape is yours for only $399 and includes round-trip air, hotel, and transfers.
You have to admit, the Cozumel Connection, the price is truly inspirational. So call right now for divine guidance.
I've been hurt on the job. Can't work. Can I see any doctor I want? If injured at work or in a car wreck, call Joe Bird, attorney.
We wrecked. I'm hurt. I don't have any money to see a doctor.
Call Joe Bird, attorney, to file on insurance claims. I don't have any insurance, but the wreck was his fault. What can I do? Joe Bird can help you. Call for a free initial consultation. There are no legal fees unless successful. Joe Bird, attorney at law. Call now.
We're back at halftime where it's 35-21 Houston over Tcu at Amon Carter Stadium, and TCU Athletic Director Frank Windegger is our guest. Interesting first half, back and forth it goes, but it really makes a difference for your program when you've got Matt Vogler in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it helps a lot, Dave. The turnover right here at the end when we had the penalty really hurt bad. That was a 14-point swing, and we needed that to get back in. But we've had wild games with Houston in the last couple of years, so who knows the second half. But as long as we can keep Vogler out on the field, we got a chance.
What does it mean to the entire athletic program here at TCU to have a winning football season this year?
Well, it means a heck of a lot. Our entire program has been doing extremely well. Our tennis champions and our golf and basketball is doing extremely well, baseball. So our entire program's been doing well. Football, we really needed to get up there and get it going. So to get over to a winning season for the first time in 9 years, Dave, really means a lot. It's with a young ball club with a lot of starters back next year. So it looks pretty good for the Frogs right now.
And basketball underway as of last night.
Basketball had a big win last night. Mose Cager started out with a 90-58 win, and he's got all his seniors back from last year. He found the 2 point guards he needs. I've seen him play one time, and I really think he has a contender for the championship this year.
If you can summarize real briefly, 30 seconds or so, the steps the conference wanted to make to prevent another defection from the conference after Arkansas leaving, has progress been made this year?
Oh, I think so. We've had a lot of discussion with the Big Eight as far as some scheduling alliances, looking forward to some TV games with the Big Eight. And, I think, there's been a lot of progress made. Now it's kind of a setback and wait situation to see how well the Southeast Conference playoff goes, and some question marks out there in people's eyes. But I think as far as the defections to other conferences, I really don't think that's as big a concern now as it was before. I think people are really putting what they need to in their programs as far as getting corporate sponsors, getting better attendance. We can't do a heck of a lot about the weather, Dave. It's kind of chilly today, but other than that, I think we're doing everything we need to get the necessary ingredients to get our conference, I'm like R.C. Slocum said, check our record against the Big Eight. What's wrong with Southwest Conference football? I happen to feel like it's a pretty strong conference.
Always good to see you, and we appreciate the visit.
Thanks, Dave. You too.
That's Frank Windegger, athletic director here at TCU, where at halftime, the Frogs trail the Cougars 35-21.
Something to think about if you throw trash on Texas highways. Somebody up there is going to be watching.
Go Squadron, go Squadron later. We've got one inside. Let's make an impression on this guy. Over.
And you don't want to mess with the Texas Confederate Air Force. So don't mess with Texas.
Bombs away, Mom.
Turn on Raycom and turn on excitement. The network of college football's preseason classics. A full season of high-octane Southwest Conference action. 2 of the top postseason bowl games. And all winter long college basketball. For the best in sports, turn on Raycom.
At Exxon, we think of engines as precise works of art, moving sculptures that come to life with stunning grace. We believe every engine deserves an enduring, powerful life. We believe every engine deserves a motor oil that offers uncompromising protection for a flawless performance. Exxon Superflow Motor Oil. For uncompromising protection against engine wear.
The Exxon Southwest Conference Player of the Week is Quentin Coriat of Texas A&M. The senior linebacker had a career-high 14 tackles to lead the Aggies' assault on the Arkansas wishbone offense. Rated as one of the top linebackers in the country, he's a leading candidate for the SWC's Outstanding Defensive Player. For being Player of the Week, Exxon will donate $1,000 in Quentin Coriat's name to the Southwest Conference Scholarship Fund.
Great players and great teams are constant in the 77-year history of the Southwest Conference.
Last year, over 2 million fans saw an offensive explosion as Southwest Conference teams set 22 national records. This season, a wide range of scoring styles continue to generate viewing excitement. And again, the conference boasts exceptional candidates for college football's highest honors. Call the Southwest Conference ticket hotline now. 1-800-800-SWC8.
It was the night after a game. I wanted to celebrate. So I went out and had some beers. No big deal. I felt okay. I was driving slow. It was a breath test I had a problem with. Cops took me in. I lost my license. I'm off the team. Everybody's all over me. I wish I'd thought of this before.
Back down on the field, a quick listen to the show window of TCU, the Horned Frog Marching Band. Time now for the Southwest Conference Football Trivia Tester, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. In which bowl game did Houston beat Dayton in 1952? Send your answer to Southwest Airlines Trivia Tester, 1300 West Mockingbird Lane, Suite 501, Dallas 75247. You'll be eligible to win 2 round-trip tickets anywhere in the states of Texas and Arkansas, courtesy of Southwest Airlines, celebrating 20 years of loving you. You'll also receive 2 tickets to an upcoming conference game. Answers must be received by Wednesday, and you must be 18 to win. Here's the answer to last week's Southwest Airlines Trivia Tester. Kenny Post scored the winning touchdown the last time TCU beat Texas back in '67, and our congratulations to Marla Casson of Fort Worth, who is this week's winner.
Hey! We're Dave Rhodes, all Southwest Conference team!
We are delighted to be able to answer that question.
Well, it's coming right up next week. Well, you'll have to watch next week, but we've made a lot of great selections. We've got some fabulous players. I mean, players that are the pride of this Southwest Conference, and some All-Americans.
Seeing quite a few of them in action today, and next Saturday we will reveal the Dave Rowe All-Conference team. The Football News All-America team coming out this week, and it features Kelly Blackwell at tight end. Trevor Cobb is a running back. Santana Dotson on the defensive line. Kevin Smith makes it at cornerback, and Mark Bounds with probably the first of several All-America mentions at punter for Texas Tech. Highlights in the first half, more offense than I think either one of us expected with the wind conditions.
Well, it certainly was. The wind made a huge difference, even made a difference in the punting game when Langston fumbled that first punt, and that led to a score. Here's the punt. The snap was back to him. You can see he just fumbles it, just loses the grip on it. This gave TCU great field position, and they got off to that quick 14-0 lead.
Somehow, though, you knew it wouldn't last, and it didn't. And this is the first of 3 touchdown catches Marcus Grant had in the first half.
Excellent concentration by Grant here. Klingler throws him a strike right downfield. You can see just stretch out, reach, get it, put your head down, and he's in for the first of his 3 touchdowns.
And not too long after that touchdown, grab number 2.
Klingler just kind of flips him off here, says, get away from me. Watch Grant down the sideline. He's out in the back of the end zone all by himself. Just too much time for Klingler to find him.
35-21 at the half as we look at the Budweiser Top 10 report. Number 1, Miami. Tonight against Boston College. Number 2, Washington. Later at home against Washington State. And number 3, Florida State, dropping from the top spot. Off this week, Florida next week.
And Michigan way ahead in that Ohio State game in the 4th period. Florida is idle. They'll play Florida State next. California Stanford, that's later, and that's a big game.
Penn State off. They get Pittsburgh on the 29th. The number 8 Alabama off. They get Auburn on the 30th.
And of course, course, Iowa, Minnesota, that game no score in the second period. Tennessee leads Kentucky in the fourth period, 16-7.
And we'll be back after this from Southwest Airlines.
Ever since Southwest Airlines extended our Friends Fly Free sale, people have gotten even friendlier.
Sugar Plum, your favorite pillow.
If you make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our regular low unrestricted fare, a friend gets to fly with you free all the way through February.
Hey, Dad, seen the head trimmer?
And now you can buy tickets till January 15th.
Here's that putter I borrowed last year. Oh, buddy.
Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free sale. It's great for your pocketbook and your popularity.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
Investments in today's marketplace is a good education.
John.
Texas Christian University. A major teaching and research institution where everyone is committed to helping young men and women reach their goals.
I work much better from here.
Texas Christian University, building a bright future for tomorrow's leaders.
Try and pace yourself out so you don't have to cram all in one night. You're never going to have enough time. So, you might study like 2 hours on a Monday, a few hours on a Sunday, and a few hours every now and then. Just make sure you go to class so you're not put in a situation where you have to spend 8 hours a night reading a book trying to get caught up.
Like SMU's Matt Hart, TCU kicker Jeff Wilkinson knows that academics and athletics both require hard work for success.
I'm just so used to having athletics and football all the time, and I'm used to coming home and just kind of studying afterwards. It kind of keeps you on a regular schedule. When I find that the few weeks that we do get off, of the year, it's hard for me to study because we just got so much free time.
Houston with a 14-point lead. The halftime statistics, very impressive for David Klingler with 281 passing yards, 326 total yards.
And the majority of that course in that second period when he had the wind at his back.
TCU with a 3 minutes plus edge in time of possession. Very misleading because they trailed by 14.
They're right. New Diet Dr. Pepper does taste more like regular Dr. Pepper.
So let's have another.
New Diet Dr. Pepper. There's no stopping the taste.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. Skylark for 1992. It's got everything you've been looking for, plus the one thing only Buick can offer you. Buick quality.
Accidents happen when you're in a hurry and not careful. Don't wreck your life.
Hello? This is Thelma downstairs. What was that? Diet Dr. Pepper. It tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper. Can I try one? I'll send George right down.
game brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by Texas Farm Bureau, by Buick, by Schick Tracer, and by Budweiser. And to come prepared if you wanted to watch Houston and TCU today. And after enjoying a 14-0 lead early on, the Frog fans a little quiet with this 35-7 Houston run leading to the third quarter. Beacon with a good high deep kick. Perry will think about running it out. He thought better. Luckily he did. Take the touchback. Cougars go from their 20. First half drive chart looks this way for the Cougars. Took them a while to get on track, and boy, when they did, look what happened.
You can see the difference. The first 2 or 3 drives were into that wind. The last were with that wind at their back.
Into it here in the third, and Klingler, who took a blow to the left wrist, apparently shaking it off and okay to start the third quarter. Fred Gilbert takes the pass right up the left side, and it'll be first down at the 35. Collins again, great pursuit from defensive end to chase down Fred Gilbert. And the musts in the first half, C, incomplete, and B.
Well, Klingler has been sacked 5 times. We haven't seen Larson, so that's an incomplete. But they have turned around the turnovers. They've only given up the ball 1 time, so they're doing fairly well in this first half.
Rush collapses around Klingler, got it off, and about an 8-yard pickup. Gilbert again on the pattern. Calvin Jones, the backup left corner, made the tackle.
Boy, with this little sprint pocket that Klingler does so well, he just gets great protection. He picks up that line, he gives him a little bit more time. And when he has that time, he is as accurate as any quarterback you'll see.
That's 88 catches now for the year for Gilbert. Should maintain the nation's leadership in that department. And that should be a first down for Marcus Grant. First half, he was the deep threat. Had 125 yards on 6 first half catches, now 7 for 129 for the day.
You know, Dave, if you're watching that play, you think, well, that's so easy to defend. But with the speed that Houston has at their wideouts, you've got to play 7 to 9 yards off. So when he doesn't do that pattern, you've got to close quickly, and you've got those big linemen running out there.
Pressure came, and Klingler just to get away from the sack, and again he's holding the left hand. Well, he was.
You see again, he holds that hand. He's had a hard time with that left. Looks as if it's his left wrist. Watch the pressure here. That's Brad Smith, 51. They come right up the middle on him. There's 44. That's Reggie Anderson. They get excellent pressure.
So 2nd and 10 flag is down. Catch is made. Grant knocked out of bounds by Hickman. A yard shy of a first down. We'll check the flag.
Oh, I don't even have to check it. I'll bet you it's Roosevelt Collins again offsides. I cannot believe that. Now, I know how great a football player he is, but you have got to look at the football. You just cannot guess, because he's cost his team at least twice in this game, first down yardage and that 1 touchdown drive. You've got to look at that football when he jumps offside from his end spot again.
He projects as an NFL.
We have offside on the defense, 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Projects as an NFL outside linebacker, and you think back, most of the linebackers who are in the pros from TCU also played the stand-up defensive end in college, and good look at the incorrect guess by Collins. He figures to go, by most indications, top 2 rounds. Again, short behind Grant this time. Bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, what's really amazing to me about Collins, Dave, is that he covers people out of the backfield. He's, as you said, a stand-up defensive end. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and he's able to run with a back out of the backfield. And it's evidenced by the fact he's got 2 interceptions, so he's got to be a pretty good coverage man.
Sanders up in the slot on 3rd down. Klingler can run for it and will, and he'll get the first down yardage to the 43. And the Cougar drive alive. All over at Ann Arbor, Michigan, headed for the Rose Bowl with a big win over Ohio State. Desmond Howard may be solidifying the Heisman Trophy with his performance today. All the short passes not tempting the TCU defensive backs to come up any tighter in their coverage. They're still given a 7 or 8 yard pad. Too tall for Grant. Houston fans and players and coaches on that side wanted Hickman to be called for a late hit, but not nearly seriously enough to draw the flag.
It was close, though. I thought it was close. When the ball is clearly overthrown, you've got to let up as a defensive corner. Now watch, see, he's coming down. He still gets a hit. I think the reason that the flag was not thrown is that he didn't follow through with the hit.
And Grant didn't fall down. It would have looked a lot more severe had he. 2nd and 10. Just got it off. Incomplete for Gilbert. Good thing the pressure came down on Klingler because Gilbert running free ahead of Greg Evans.
Boy, and on that play, Klingler needed about another, as you say, about another 1/10 of a second, and he would have found Gilbert across the middle, but a good outside blitz to get pressure on David Klingler. That ain't bad. 70% on 3rd down conversions, I should say.
This is Grant, and again should have the first down. They'll mark him at the 32. Steve Reed chasing him out of bounds.
Well, you know, Dave, when you think of Roosevelt Collins, you think 73 tackles, but he's not really been a real factor today. They've covered him with a back trying to keep him out. They've got a lot of respect for him, but he really has not been a real factor. You see 2 men occupying him. That's the respect they have for him.
Reed just a little late to push Grant out before the first down marker. He got there. And with 13-11 3rd quarter, Cougars continue to march, looking to go up by 21. Might not happen. Fumble at the 37-yard line. Roosevelt Collins on the bottom of the pile for the TCU recovery.
Just as we weren't calling his name, he comes up with a big play. He's that quick down the line pursuit, and that's his play on this. He just dives in. It really looked like a tie was going to go to Klingler, but Collins able just to wrestle that ball away. Now he's going to be on the left of your screen. See, he's going to come down the line. Now there's the fumble. Now watch how Collins quickly reacts. Klingler comes back for it. Looks like a tie, but Collins comes up with it.
And it looked like Sanders didn't expect to get a handoff. He ran right through that give from Klingler. Big break for the Frogs, trying to come back from 14 down. Vogler delivers, complete to Blackwell. First down, near midfield. As we check the TCU first half possession chart.
What a difference the win makes. Look at where they started off. Those first 2 touchdowns, great field position.
Blackwell's 5th catch, so he's got almost all the second half to get 4 more for the tight end record. Cedric Dickens, ridden to the turf by Ryan McCoy. Defensive newcomer of the year last year out of Beaumont Central, and the Cougar tackling leader this year, middle linebacker. And time to grade the TCU must.
Well, first of all, start and finish with Vogler. What a difference the quarterback makes over last week. Keep the ball away from Houston. They have an advantage in time of possession. And get Blackwell 9 catches. He's got 5. And I can promise you there's no one more aware of that than Jim Wacker. He needs 9.
picked off. It was intended for Shipley, and Lorenzo Dixon comes up with his second interception.
But if Vogler could have this pass back, he'd love to have it. You see the way his hand went? What he was saying there was, I floated the ball out and I should have delivered the ball.
And Linton Weatherspoon is the reason he had to float it. He rose up and got in Vogler's face. So Lorenzo Dixon, junior college All-American from Los Angeles, gives it back to the Cougars.
So I'm doing my sound check.
Hello.
And I hear this woman's voice.
Crunch that last chord. I'll show you.
She grabbed the guitar.
And then she started rocking. No, I mean rocking. You're pretty good. Not.
Someone that hot deserves something this cold. Suddenly, I remember this was a bud spot.
I like your style.
5, 6, 7, and... Come on, you can do it. 6, 7. Again, 6, 7, 8.
After making it on Broadway, some of the finest entertainers around go off-Broadway. They appear on Norwegian Cruise Line. No other cruise line offers such entertainment. Norwegian Cruise Line, the best vacation you've ever had. Plus...
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
Still early third quarter, but the Dixon interception makes up for the Tiandre Sanders fumble, and the Cougars go from their 34-yard line. Good Gilbert and Grant, the G-men, all wide right. Brown left. Sanders is the superback. He had a nice first down. He's ankle tackled here by Molina. Nice first half, I should say. Sanders now with his 9th carry, 67 yards. And Klingler got away from Smith on the blitz, but the sack recorded at the 32. And TCU has had good penetration all day on this beleaguered Houston offensive line.
So what Houston tried to do that time was go hurry up offense and go on a quick count, and it backfired on them because their offensive linemen weren't able to pick up the blocking assignments.
That's a season for a lot of people. That is just in the last 2 games against TCU. With this one, just early third quarter, that sack recorded by Vincent Pryor, true freshman from San Antonio Churchill. In there is Bolden spot at left end, and it's 3rd and 11. Pryor again chasing Klingler, and he got him short of the first down at the 40. They move Bolden to tackle, and they give Pryor some snaps at left end. Of course, he's the man of the future. Bolden with 1 more year, and you figure they'll find a spot for Pryor next year.
Boy, that showed good speed down the line by Pryor. It's not often that you think of a defensive end, 220 range, running down a quarterback.
Langston had his difficulties fumbling a snap leading to a TCU score in the first half. He'll kick to Mike Houston. Big rush again. And that'll draw a flag. They didn't get ball. They got a lot of Langston, though. They let it roll to the 17, but this will be a frog penalty for roughing.
Boy, whoever hit Langston, he never went for the ball. He looked as if he was going to try to tackle Langston because he hit him right in the side. You think of blocking punch, you think of out in front, 2 yards in front of the kicker, getting your hands up. But this guy, whoever it was, ran right down his throat.
Angel Alvarez.
Is that Alvarez come in and hit him from the side?
We have running into the kicker on the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now watch Alvarez from the left of your screen. He's not even going to try to block the punt. He's coming right at the kicker. Look at this. Boom. Now that's kind of running into the kicker, wouldn't you say?
This is the 7th TCU penalty. They have been particularly untimely.
Well, you give an offense like this, if you want to keep the ball away from them, you don't give them other new opportunities. It's the first down, another set of downs. You just don't give Houston that much time.
Good fake to Sanders, and Klingler wishes he had given the ball off because he is again sacked by Collins at the 38th. 7 sacks of Klingler today.
Well, Roosevelt Collins might have woken up when he heard us say that we haven't mentioned his name, because the last series he's been in there. This is Collins' sack. He's 48. He comes from the left of your screen. Watch his protection break down. You just keep on working as a defensive lineman. Just keep on pushing your way through. Klingler's lucky right here. He flipped back over backwards and almost hurt his. See how his foot came out? Boy, he could have sprained an ankle easily on that play.
Marcus Grant to the 42. Well, Klingler just completely refusing to go deep into this win. Chinking away. He's got 8:53 still to go in the third quarter. And he's got 13 yards to go on this third down.
Well, when you've been sacked 7 times and you're under a lot of pressure, you don't have the time to go deep also.
Chased again. Got it off, intended for Verlin Brown, and over the wrong shoulder. He had beaten Calvin Jones, and he looked over the outside shoulder. But I think even if he brings it in, he's probably out of bounds. He wanted it over the right shoulder.
Well, you have to credit TCU's defense. They've given the ball back twice. They got that fumble, and now they've held them on a good series here. So TCU is still in this football game. I know they've got to score points, but their defense is really the thing that's kept them in this football game.
Well, let's see if they play return this time. Nope, heavy rush again. They got Langston at the 27. And Alvarez, a big part of it after his mistake on the previous punt.
Well, when you look up and you're a punter, and you look up and you see 10 men on the line of scrimmage, and they've just come down your throat 3 times, you have got to realize you've got to get the ball off. I mean, he just drops it the exact same way. There's no way he's going to get that punt off. If I'm over on the sidelines, I'm going to tell him, put some stickum on your hands. Do something to get a softer touch, but the ball's just banging off his hands.
Boggs with a great opportunity. Swing it to Blackwell to the 27. You know, I got to wonder, he's over there on the sideline and has all day to keep his hands warm. If they're cold, they shouldn't be.
Well,
that's
they certainly
the problem.
should be. No, you wear gloves on the side. You saw the hand warmer that David Klingler has. A punter only gets in there 5 or 6 plays, and this is one of the best punters in the country. We're talking about an athlete with a 43.5-yard average coming into this football game, so his hands should be warm.
Curtis Modkins inside the 25. That'll bring up third and about 2 or 3. Let's pause briefly for station identification on the Raycom network. With Dave Rowe, Dave Barnett at Amon Carter Stadium on the TCU campus in Fort Worth. Interesting game. Houston with a 35-7 run after they trailed 14-0. 7:11 to go in the third, and TCU threatening after the fumble punt snap. Blackwell, another grab. First down at the 16. That's 7 catches. He needs 1 to tie Gordon Hudson and 2 to set the tight end career NCAA record.
Cougar, 16-yard
Well, you want to make a sure bet? You bet that Blackwell at least gets 2 more throws in his direction. But it couldn't happen to a better football player.
I bet it happens on this series.
Well, it couldn't happen to a better football player. Dedicated weight man, in the weight room all the time. He's built his body up. A lot of people said he's too short, but I can promise you one thing: whatever team gets a shot at him, he'll play his heart out for him.
TCU will call time with 5:41 in the third quarter. 35-21 Cougars as we return after this from Southwest Airlines.
Time to rise and shine, fun seekers. Southwest Airlines fun fairs are back.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now. You really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines' new fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
With us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now. You really should fly. And you'll have fun flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair today.
We asked California artist Ed Lister to give us his impressions of the all-new 1992 Buick Skylark. To capture the lyrical lines, the liquid flow, the dash of flair, and above all, the quality that makes this the Buick of its class. Did he capture Skylark? Decide for yourself. But one thing's for certain. Skylark is the Buick that will change a lot of impressions about Buick.
There's a change taking place across America. People are rediscovering the things that really matter. Caring for one another. Living a simpler life. The pleasures of home and family. These values have always been a part of the Farm Bureau tradition. And they're the reason people from every walk of life are turning to Farm Bureau for quality insurance protection. Home, auto, life, value. Helping you is what we do best.
Well, that's a 6 and not a 5. 6:41 to go, third quarter. TCU will go first and 10 from the Cougars 16. And they will line up Blackwell, strong side left. 3 wideouts right on first down. Watkins up slot right. Cougars want the max blitz. Frogs pick it up. Catch. Shipley. Touchdown.
TCU, number 87, Stephen Shipley.
Believe it or not, that is Stephen Shipley's first touchdown pass this year.
There was no denying him on that play. When Shipley got within about 2 yards of the end zone, he just dove up in the air and over. He was not going to be denied that touchdown catch.
Wilkinson to make it 35-28 out of Mike Nowak's hold.
Dave, what a difference a week makes. Last week we sat there and watched a quarterback that couldn't make the adjustments. This week Vogler picks up the blitz. He sees it. He sends people out in the flat. Now watch Shipley at the tail end of this. Up and over. He's that great leaping ability. They said he has a 32-inch vertical jump. He used it on that play.
35-28 here for Houston, the other Houston school, as we go to our Raycom Southwest Conference updates. With Rice hoping Trevor Cobb gets at least 152 yards today to break Earl Campbell's single-season Southwest Conference record of 1,744 yards. At halftime, the Owls trail at Arkansas 6-0. In Arkansas's SWC finale.
And Dave, we understand Trevor Cobb has 12 carries for only 39 yards at halftime.
Well, as you pointed out so often, he can have a half like that, and they'll give it to him 30, 35, 40 times. On the 38th to 39th carry, he can break one 40, 50, 60 yards. That is a real struggle all day for the Buffaloes, and the Aggies have the early lead as they try to clinch the Cotton Bowl berth. Grand holding, Beacon kicking. That's a spiral. Perry from the 3. Kenny Perry with the flag down to the 45-yard line if it stands.
Boy, that flag is thrown all the way back at about the 20, 21-yard line.
It's coming back on a Houston clip.
Clipping the indication against Houston.
And we're glad to have those of you joining us on Prime Network and its nationwide family of regional sports cable networks. See if we can pick up the clip.
Well, you may see it. It's number 40 got blocked
We have
right
clipping
in the back there.
On the receiving team on the return, penalized half the distance of the goal. First down.
Kevin LeBay, 99, delivering the clip. Lincoln's resorting to the bullhorn. Try and make himself heard. He's right in front of the TCU band. And as Klingler can get him up the field, he can move away from that band and be heard better. That one intended on the sideline for Marcus Grant. And Brad Wallace came in for the pressure. Jenkins is an innovator in a lot of ways. As a football coach, I've never seen a guy use this from the sideline. Tom Landry used to at Thousand Oaks training camp. Never in a game.
Well, I think what he's yelling out is the defensive coverage, because I just heard him yell out 3-3-3, and he may be calling the type of coverage in the secondary.
Oh, did Molina wipe out Sanders, and somehow he got away, but he didn't get any extra yardage. And a frog is down, and it is Molina who made that initial hit.
Well, Molina's played hurt for a lot of this year. I mean to tell you, he stuck Sanders in the backfield. It looked as if he just came through just clean on the play. Maybe he had a slant to the inside, and the guard just missed him. Now there he is right there. See, the guard is pulling. He's right behind the guard. Wow, that's a contact. Now watch Sanders. Don't lose those feet. And he picks up yardage. Well, he gets back almost to the line of scrimmage.
Molina holding the right elbow or shoulder as he jogs off. It's 3rd and 11. Finally, some time. And the catch made for the first down. That is a big grab for Verlin Brown.
Boy, the time that Klingler had back there, he could have eaten a sandwich and still thrown that football. He wanted to look like he wanted to get out of the pocket, but then he just, watch his feet. All of a sudden now, I got to get out. Nope, I'm going to square back up. I've got all the time. Look at the time my line's giving me. Boy, that's great concentration. That's one thing these Houston receivers do so well is they don't take their concentration, their eye off that football.
Quick toss, Marcus Grant. And he'll be close for a first down. Didn't get out of bounds. 5:37 in the quarter. No measurement needed. First down. 3 first-half touchdown catches by Grant. Half as many as he had in the entire first 9 games. This time they fake short on the blitz. Anderson might have grabbed the face mask. There is no flag, but he really grabbed Klingler high along with more pressure from Wallace. Anderson with his 4th sack.
Boy, Brad Wallace, 94, was in there so quickly. Watch how quickly the pressure is. Right up in front of him. There's Anderson. As he turns around, there's Wallace. I mean, they had a crew of people in there.
I think his hand grazed the face mask, but properly that was not called. Loss of 10 yards on the 8th sack of the day by this fired-up Frog defense. And the safety blitz came that time. Intended for Sanders. He barely got it off. Smith got a hand on the ball. Rand had a hand and more on Klingler.
Boy, Brad Smith came within an inch of catching this football. He was on a blitz, and they were going to do that little underneath shuffle pass again, and Smith was right there. I mean, he almost caught this thing in stride.
Anderson inciting the crowd on 3rd and 20. And again hurried, and again incomplete for Grant.
Boy, TCU gambled that time. They sent 8 men on that blitz. 8 people. That means they left 3 one-on-one coverage, and they were able to get to him. Watch the number of purple shirts coming into your picture. You'll see them all over the place. They just took a chance. There's Collins in his face. They took a chance that they could get to him. Now, if I'm a punter on Houston, I want to get this one off.
High snap, Langston running for his life. At the 17, they get him again.
I can't believe it. Well, at least he caught this one. What a day Langston's had.
He's a decathlete. He was 3rd in the conference in the decathlon. He is a good athlete, but look what he has had happen today. First kick goes 32, fumbles a snap, runs into the punter, tackle before the punt. John Jenkins sees this 7-point lead in real jeopardy now.
Well, in fairness to him, that was a very high snap. And when he brought it back down, the pressure was right in front of him. He really didn't have much to do on that play. There wasn't much of a way he could bail himself out of that troubled spot.
Give us to Modkins. Got outside, inside the 10. There's some quick feet. Eric Blunt chased him out.
Well, they always say speed kills, and that's the difference right there. Modkins was, when he was going inside, he was going to get no yardage. He kicked on those little afterburners and got outside and picked up about 8, almost 9 yards. About 8 yards on that play.
Dogs have the win for the final 4:21 of this 3rd quarter. Trying to make the most of it. Whoops, Mike Nowak giving himself a hard time.
Boy, and there's no, see, look at Jim Wacker's response.
Oh, man.
There is no penalty that kills an offense more than a 5-yard penalty when you're inside the 10-yard line.
Still 2nd down.
And you take a 5-yard jaunt backwards, and it's just a mental mistake.
TCU not burned all that badly by penalties, yardage-wise, but their timing has been particularly poor. A&M adding a score. Dickens in motion. Vogler overthrows Shipley. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Boy, and if Vogler could have waited just another second, Shipley was going to break over the middle, and they had no one in the center of that zone. He would have been wide open, but again, you know, it's real easy to sit back and say if he could wait another second.
Might keep an eye on Shipley, the best target at 6'5". They send him short side, top of your screen. Alvarez right. Play action for Vogler. Throws right, caught at the 8-yard line, Blackwell. And that ties the NCAA career record.
Well, I was just going to say, you said you'd go to Shipley. I thought to myself, I think I might keep Blackwell in mind also.
He did not get the first down, but he did get his 8th catch.
Yeah, now see his drive off, he just runs through, but what great concentration to bring that football in. One of the problems they have, though, they're on the right hash mark for a field goal try. And most field goal kickers in this situation have a tendency to hook the football.
25-yarder Wilkinson, just 7 of 18. And it's a fake. Blackwell inside the 5. Touchdown, Kelly Blackwell.
And Dave, that's a reception too. Even though it's behind the line, it's a pass.
That's it. That's the record.
And what a way to set that record on a fake field goal to your tight end that's had such a marvelous career. And they throw it on, it's almost like a shuffle pass underneath to the wing. And that's the position that Blackwell plays on that play. He's a wing, the up wing. So when the ball is snapped, he just comes in motion.
He gave that ball to his quarterback, and Matt Vogler takes it to the sideline, and he'll put it in a safe place before it goes into the trophy mantle. Now Wilkinson will kick, and it's tied at 35.
Well, 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't have given Blackwell a chance to get this record. See him on the wing right there? They're right behind him, but he just has that speed, puts that head down, shakes off a couple people, dives into the end zone. Again, he's the wing back, the up man on the outside, the right of your screen. Watch him go in motion. There he's in motion. There's the shuffle pass to him. And around he comes and into the end zone.
They are greeting Kelly Blackwell like the hero he has just become. Boy, what an emotional moment for the NCAA's all-time pass-catching tight end.
So I'm doing my sound check. Hello. And I hear this woman's voice.
Crunch that last chord. I'll show you.
She grabbed the guitar.
And then she started rocking. No, I mean rocking.
You're pretty good. Not.
Someone that hot deserves something this cold. Suddenly, I remember this was a bud spot.
I like your style.
There is a place where luxury and affordability collide in a most comfortable way. A place to embrace it all this winter. All the legendary pleasures of Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta embraced the Mexican fable.
Buying a new car involves some difficult decisions.
Okay, let's see. 4-door? Not 2-door. Hey, maybe no doors.
At NCNB, we don't think financing should be one of them.
Well, you gotta be kidding.
That's why we've set up a loan information line. Call with your questions or stop by and see a loan specialist.
Way too fast.
Then move on to the really difficult decisions.
Okay, red. No, blue. Maybe white.
1-800-ASK-NCNB.
Two-tone?
The loan source.
Well, Kelly Blackwell will continue to get well-deserved congratulations for setting the NCAA record. He has done it despite badly injured ribs these last couple of weeks. And how appropriate that it comes in a game-tying touchdown on a fake field goal. Deacon's kick returned by Perry to the 25-yard line. What a career for Kelly Blackwell. And we asked him to reflect back on what he considers to be his highlights.
Every year we have key people go down, and this year we're on a roll. If we had Leon Clay back there and a few other, Richard Woodley and Shipley was out the first couple games, and our defensive line also. I mean, it could be a totally different season, and this wouldn't necessarily be our last game, and which it is, but it's been disappointing in that respect, but otherwise it's been a great career. I mean, I love it. I love every minute of it, and I would have no regrets whatsoever.
All over the superback Sanders, and the TCU defense feeding off the energy that surrounded that record catch for Blackwell. We've got 10 touchdowns on the board already. 8 have come with the win. And he may very well be our Southwest Airlines player of the game when we announce that at the end of the game. Too tall for Daniel Adams. And almost intercepted by Reed. It'll be 3rd down and 11. 2:45 in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, this was really an important series for Houston. They need to get something going to take the momentum away from TCU. If they don't make this first down, they're going to have to punt again into that wind.
Smith giving chase, and Collins, and it'll be 4th down.
On the keeper.
What I can tell you right now is the punter jogs out here. Boy, is he concentrating on the fundamentals. Catch the football, get it off quick. I can promise you one thing, if there's another block punt for John Jenkins, he's going to have a heart attack over there. TCU's got 10 men up again, Dave.
Good snap, got it off. Anthony Hickman, fair catch at the 46. Well, we're joined by guys who got to be a little nervous about things long about now. The University of Houston Athletic Director Rudy Davalos joins us in the booth. And what a game of momentum swings this has turned into.
Well, whoever has that win scores points. I think you mentioned 8 out of the 10 touchdowns have been scored with the win. I'm not too excited about this. You know, when you're 5-5 and you're hoping for a lot better things. We've played very erratic today. Have looked very good at times, and they looked poorly. I was very proud of Kelly Blackwell on his career catch. Got a little penalty out there, Dave.
This may be offsetting. Flag at the 45-yard line. Well, they sorted out. You have turned what could have been just a really disastrous football season into a respectable one, and it may be a plus 500 one. What does that do for your overall program?
Well, we've gotten to the point. We've had 9-3, 9-2, and 10-1, and we're not real happy, with this season. But our guys have played hard. We played a heck of a schedule too. We played, of course, Miami beat us, probably be the national champion, in Illinois, and played A&M a heck of a game. Really, the only one in the league so far. We played them real good. And so we're not happy about the season, but we're not crying about it either.
Rudy, you've got to be pleased about David Klingler's selection to stay in college football.
We have dead ball
degree.
foul, personal foul.
He will graduate in, I believe, 3 weeks, and a lot of controversy over that. A lot of people thought he should go pro. I thought it quite interesting that he felt that strongly about your program.
David is his own man. He's a great, I think, a great inspiration to a lot of young kids. He's a class act. He's been a tremendous asset to the University of Houston, and you would have liked for him to have a better season as far as more wins, but he's done the right thing in his mind. He's going to be a wealthy young man here soon, and he'll probably do some color down the road.
Uh-oh. Well, wait a minute now. Let's let him have a career first and let me get a few more years.
In and out of the hands of David Lewis. And it'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, I thought it quite interesting. I heard a story that he wrote down the reasons he should go pro last year and the reasons he should stay in school, and turned around and said all the reasons that he should go pro involved money, and all the reasons he should stay in school were education and future and those type of things.
Well, Dave, he loves to play. He loves college. He's got a girlfriend there. He has a lot of friends. He's from the Houston area. He just enjoys himself.
Frogs on 3rd and 8. Under 2 minutes in the 3rd, and Vogler steps up and delivers complete to Shipley for the first down. This is old style Southwest Conference aerial circus football today.
Well, you get two teams like Houston and TCU who have basically committed to throwing the football, and it's appropriate that Blackwell gets his record, against us, or we're going to get records when we play people. And when you throw the ball like both these teams do, you're going to have a lot of records.
Harper, wide left. Lewis and Shipley right. As Modkins met immediately by Glenn Condrez. One of the greatest things could happen to any athletic program. You had a donation that I don't know if you expected it or not, but it really turned your financial picture around.
Yeah, Dave, we had John and Becky Moores from Sugar Land donated $25 million for our athletic facilities. We're going to be building probably an $18-19 million facility, indoor field, all offices, training rooms, weight rooms. It's going to be a great thing for us, not only us, but the conference.
Vogler play action. Ball deflected by Cadrez. And bring up 3rd down and 8. We appreciate you coming up here and weathering the wind with us.
Well, you know, my old days with you as a color analyst for the Mavericks, so we used to be indoors. I think when it gets this cold, I'm ready to go to basketball.
Would you push through that NCAA rule that everybody has to have a dome stadium by the turn of the century?
Yes, we'll see what we can do.
Get working on that. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, you bet. Good to be with both of y'all.
Rudy Davalos, U of H Athletic Director. Vogler again for the first down to Shipley.
That's Vogler to Shipley.
His 3rd quarter showing the best of both Blackwell and Shipley.
Boy, showing the best of that wind. Rudy talked about that wind being a big factor. It has been a huge factor. When you stop and look at 8 of the 10 touchdowns have been scored with the wind. Gosh, boy, I'll tell you one thing. It's almost where you want to miss, you want to win the toss and just all of a sudden give the other team the ball. Just let me have the win.
Dickens gives Modkins a breather, takes it on the draw play, off the right tackle to the 15. Should be another first down.
Boy, what a block by Blackwell that time. We talk about him as a great receiver, but he pulled from his end spot and led up through the hole. Got just a superb block in there. Well, perhaps we can see this on this play. Now, Blackwell's on the left of your screen. He's going to turn around. He's the lead man. Now, watch him pull through there. Now, watch this block on right where he turns, right back there. Bam. Boy, that's a block. That was on Eric Blunt that he blocked.
Fake draw. Vogler on the roll. Will keep for maybe a yard.
Dave, one point about Blackwell's catches, and I know we've talked a lot about him, but I think 2 weeks ago, I don't think anybody would have given him a chance to break that record because of that injury to his ribs.
Well, he did it in a remarkable 3rd quarter for TCU. They pull even as we head to the 4th.
Chief Auto Parts is a special way of treating its best customers. The ones they call top wrenches like me. For instance, when you buy an alternator, starter, water pump, or battery this week, Chief will give you a free 6-pack of quality Valvoline worth over $7. And because we're their best customers, Chief will also give us this preferred customer card, good for 15% savings on terrific monthly specials. So hurry to Chief Auto Parts, the do-it-yourself maintenance specialists.
It's Domino's Pizza's new pan pizza. Great pan pizza plus our 30-minute guarantee. Now a medium with any 2 toppings, just $8.99. 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pan pizza at home.
Domino's new premium zesty pan pizza. Just try it. We guarantee you'll like it better than anyone else's pan pizza, or it's free. Call now and get 1 medium pan pizza with 2 toppings for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Strike gold for only 97 cents during this Thanksgiving weekend's bowling blowout. We have the coolest prices of the year. Only 97 cents per game, Thursday through Sunday, from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. So grab all your bowling buddies and have a ball bowling for only 97 cents a game, Thanksgiving weekend. It's time to pick 'em up and put 'em down. Get to Jupiter Lanes at Grove Country Lanes, Old Don Carter All-Star Lanes, and all Triangle Bowls.
Southwest Conference football on Raycom is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by Dr. Pepper, by Schick Tracer, by Budweiser. Remember, friends know when to say when. By NCNB, and by Buick. See what TCU can do into the wind in the 4th quarter. 80% of the points have come with it. 2nd and 9 at the Cougar 14. And Vogler has Blackwell inside the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. Tyrone Davis prevented the touchdown.
Well, why not go to the surest hands on this football team, and that's Kelly Blackwell.
It'll be first and goal for TCU.
Again, he just seems as if he just kind of sneaks out there. Watch Vogler just kind of throw it out to him easy. Look how wide open he is. Then he's the big man to bring down. He carries it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
And again, TCU misses the snap count.
Boy, that really hurts when you jump off sides down here. Now, a lot of times you really have to concentrate on that snap count because the defensive players are yelling out different signals and things like that. You can't mistake that for your snap count.
False start on the offense. Replay first down.
That was on Barrett Robbins, who is a backup offensive tackle. Third quarter stats. Still a fairly significant edge in total yards for Houston. But TCU, after trailing 35-21, threatening to take the lead in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
640 yards passing.
First and goal back at the 6. Modkins up the middle to the lip of the cup, and it'll be second down.
Now that's the difference that TCU has over Houston, is that they run a lot stronger. In here, they've got that little Modkins who can kind of sneak through there or bounce outside. He picks up good yardage here. Look at those eyes. See those eyes concentrating on where he's going? Gets a good handoff. Find those big linemen. Just get behind him. Put that head down. Squeeze that football. And he's down to the 1-yard line. Graded out the highest. There are their 2 strong men in there. Morse is the junior, the center. Marsh the senior. That time Vogler just got down behind him and said, "Big boys, just clear me away." And he just drove into that end zone.
Jeff Wilkinson adds the extra point.
Well, again, just get behind those big linemen. See Morse there, 52, and Marsh, 62, just driving off that football.
Frogs led early by 14, fell down by 14, and they score 21 unanswered points.
When you play the game and you're looking good, it's a Bud Light way and it's understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. Clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. Cause everything else is just a light. Just a light. Bud Light. Just a light. Everything else is just a light.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
Saturday on Raycom, Southwest Conference excitement continues. The Texas Tech Red Hot Red Raiders take on the Houston Cougars. It's the best of the Southwest on Raycom. Here's today's game tracer, brought to you by the Schick Tracer. Klingler, 348 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Marcus Grant. Vogler now with a couple of touchdown tosses, and Blackwell with the best NCAA career catch mark. (40-35), and we will now see what Houston can do with the win behind them. Kenny Perry from the 17. They'll have pretty good field position from the 35, and whereas Klingler settled for the short stuff in the third quarter, you would expect him to start airing it out deep in the fourth.
Well, watch out now. He's got that wind at his back, as you said, and he can go farther downfield with less fear of that ball holding up. So I would look for Klingler to go more. He's been throwing into the wind those 5 to 7, maybe 9 yards passes. Now look for him to go downfield.
Well, Colorado holds on. They had 30 below wind chill at Ames, Iowa today, and the Buffaloes survived 17-14. Fake short, looks deep, goes deep, too deep. And he had a wide open Fred Gilbert. That's more the way he looked when the game started.
Well, yes, he took that quick flash action where he just does that little pump fake. But that's one he'd love to have back because he was wide open down the seam. He just missed him on that play.
And he drilled it. One of the best things he does is throw the deep ball with touch, but no touch on that one.
No, that was a rocket right down the pike.
Anderson coming on a blitz. They pick him up. Now they surround Klingler. Got it off, and the catch at the 41-yard line as Tracy Good got blasted. And Klingler is again slow getting up.
Boy, he got up. He looked like a punch fighter that just got knocked out. Looked like he staggered when he got up. Bothered with a rib injury and having that flu. But he jumps right back in there and takes control of that huddle. Don't you have to really respect him?
Like the Cowboys in the Western, that they keep firing with arrows sticking out all over them. They have done a much better job this half controlling Tiandre Sanders. Reggie Anderson, not only very active in terms of tackling, but getting the crowd involved this second half.
I was just going to make the same point. Every time the play finishes up, Anderson is in there smacking his teammates, popping them on the back, getting the crowd into the game. He's not only doing that duty of leading this team in tackles, but he is really an emotional leader out there now.
They go for it on 4th and 2 at their own 44-yard line. And it is Sanders dragging Greg Evans all the way to the TCU 45. That's confidence in your offense.
Boy, that is. And what a good read by Sanders on that play. He could have been stopped, but he's just with that good vision that you expect out of a good running back. He sees the seam and just squirts through it. Now, look, if he takes an inside move, see that little adjustment back outside? That's what made the play. If he doesn't make that adjustment, he runs smack into the defensive tackle.
That's confidence in your offense and a lack of confidence in your punting game. Both on display for John Jenkins here. Short toss, Gilbert up the side, close for a first down. They mark him out at the 38. Anderson chased him out over there.
Boy, that speed of Gilbert and that wide out. That cornerback's off 7-8 yards. And he just refuses to come up and to close on him for fear that the long bomb is going to come.
Another quick toss, incomplete, and it was intended for Ron Peters. First time they've thrown to Peters today.
Well, they didn't even see Peters out there. There's a flag down on the play on this side, but Peters, it almost as if he had snuck out there. There was no coverage whatsoever on him. If he's able to catch that football, he goes downfield for a touchdown. But it would have been called back because the penalty is going to be against Houston.
We have a legal motion on the offense. Penalties declined. Third down.
Boy, but they'll look at this on film and just absolutely cringe when they see how open he was, or would have been.
The corner had not even gone out there with him. The corner had, you see him at the top of the screen now, but on the last play, he wasn't even out past the numbers.
Third down, and again incomplete. This one for John Brown III. JB3, one of 3 JBs on this team. The other 2 are DBs.
Boy, you got to catch that pass. That has got to be a completion. Well, they went with Sanders last time on 4th down.
Not much question. They'll go for it on this 4th down.
But a little bit different, Dave. It's over 2 yards.
And they have Sanders at a slot. Quick toss. First down, Freddie Gilbert. If you're the Frogs, you go to the all-time tight end. If you're the Cougars, you go to the nation's leading pass catcher.
And did you not think Freddie Gilbert knew exactly how far he had to get? He didn't try to juke. He put that head down and said, hey, I'm going to play fullback on this play. Watch how quickly. Now watch Gilbert. I got to get up to that strike. Put that shoulder down and just drive up there. Smart play by a veteran player.
Alvin Jones on the tackle. 11 minutes to go. And dropped by Berlin Brown. Now they're wearing gloves. Was that having an effect?
Well, it does and it doesn't. The gloves are also made of leather, and they get hard. Now, they do have these rubberized gloves inside.
But is it keeping their hands warm?
Well, it's keeping their hands warm, but a lot of times the surface of the ball is slicker, and when it meets that glove, it has a tendency just to kind of smack out.
So you're warmer, but you're slippery.
That's right.
With protection, finds the open man who drops the ball at the 2. Daniel Adams says, what happened?
Oh, what happened? He dropped it. That's what happened. I mean, Klingler does a little fake again, and he has Adams running right down the middle of the field. Watch him, number 2. Now watch, you're not even going to see anybody even near him. Look at this. There's nobody within 10 yards of him, and he drops the football. Now, one of the things he did wrong there, tried to catch it against his body instead of reaching out with those hands and catching it away from his body.
Klingler under pressure and almost intercepted by Evans. Evans was the man in the neighborhood of Adams on the previous play, whose footsteps Adams may have heard. Again, slow getting up Klingler, but he does get up. And it's 4th and 10.
Well, that time Grant broke off his pattern. I don't know why Grant broke off, but he ran about a 10-yard pattern and just stopped. And that allowed Evans to recover back and help in the coverage.
They tried a 61-yarder in the first half, and the first man ever to hit the 400-point mark will try a 50-yarder here.
They're one man short.
They better call timeout, and they do. Jim Herndon was the true freshman racing onto the field, but they still had to burn a timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts. That much time left in a barn burner in Fort Worth.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. The Skylark for 1992. It's got everything you've been looking for, plus the one thing only Buick can offer you. Buick quality.
How to improve your home involves some difficult decisions.
You know, we could use a bigger kitchen.
Nuh-uh. A new bath.
Kitchen.
A new bath.
We could use
At NCNB, we don't think financing should be one of them.
Okay, a bath. Upstairs.
Upstairs?
That's why we've set up a loan information line. Call with your questions or stop by and see a loan specialist. Then tell us what's on your mind.
Okay, I got it. A garage.
A deck.
My garage.
1-800-ASK-NCNB.
Sweetheart.
The loan source.
Yes?
I want a deck.
Chug along. Pinstripe suits and high-heel shoes. The daily grind gives a boy the blues. Don't work me over, I know what works good. While the best thing though is so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper, we want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste that's made to order, we love it.
John Jenkins has made his decision on 4th down and 10 with 10:49 to play. Once upon a time, they led this game 35-21. That was 21 TCU points ago. His decision still to go for the 50-yarder. Perry holding. Anderson kicking.
Get left.
And it is good. He sounded like a golfer. He said, get left.
I know. With those downfield mics on the field, you can hear him say, get left on that kick. And
sometimes the ball, sometimes it listens to.
Well, you think his godfather, Roman Gabriel's happy? Of course, his dad was a backup to Roman Gabriel.
So Houston, again with the win, back to work, and it's a 4-point lead.
You know, one thing about Anderson that's really been interesting is this season when they made the goalpost narrower, he started kicking at 9-foot wide goalposts. So it really hasn't affected him.
Another Houston innovation. That's something that kickers around the country ought to pick up on. All the guys who've been bothered by this, they say, and they're correct, you know, the middle hasn't moved. If you still aim for the middle, you're okay. But statistically, a big drop in field goal accuracy this year. But not for Roman Anderson. He is steady as usual. He'll kick as Brisket Howard holds for him to either Houston or Morey. Got all of this one, Morey, for the touchback 8-yard sneak. Now then, the TCU offense, which ran up and down the field almost at will in the third quarter. What do they change strategically into the win? That's the question we'll see answered now.
Well, one of the things they should do is use that same ball control. They've had a good success with that running game. They've been able to drive and control that football. They wanted Vogler to be very sure on his pass attempts, but burn up that clock. That's the way you keep Houston from scoring.
They give to Modkins on first down, weaving his way to the 27. Exactly what they wanted. 7-yard gain. The Houston scoring drive, 12 plays and only 33 yards. Anderson officially 49 yards on the field goal, and that's 4 yards shy of the school record. Clock rolling at 10:13. 2nd and 3. Modkins again. He got smacked hard and then carried Nigel Ventress forward for maybe an extra yard or two. It'll be 3rd and 2. Last year, Houston 56-35. This year, total combined yards 684. It's about 500 fewer than they combined for last year. 12 scoring drives of less than 445 this year. 12 of less than a minute 40 last year. Quarterback sneak. I don't know if Vogler got it. Going to be real close.
Boy, that was an interesting call. I think I would have given it back to Modkins again. Vogler stretched. I don't think he made the first down. It looks as if he had to make the 30-yard line, and the ball is short. Watch here. Just get that ball, get behind that center, but this time he comes up, I think, a little bit short. If he is, big decision by Jim Wacker. Does he go for it on 4th down?
Evidently so.
Oh, boy. Now watch Vogler try to draw him off sides with that voice inflection.
Sneak again, and no problem. First down TCU. We are seeing some gutsy coaching both ways.
Oh, boy.
It's the Jack Crow factor.
Boy, it is. Go for it on 4th down. Now, this time what Vogler does is he steps outside. Had he tried to that quarterback sneak again, they had stuffed the center in that. But he steps outside. Watch. Step to the right, outside that guard, and find that seam.
Crow going for it on 4th down at his own 19 for Arkansas against Texas, evidently starting a trend around this conference. It worked for him, and it's worked for both Jenkins and Wacker in their own territory in this second half. Pump fake, Vogler deep. And Shipley with the grab. Did he hang on? did not see him drop it, and the back judge will wave off the catch by an enraged Shipley.
Well, I think what Shipley was saying and what that judge thought he saw was that he came down with the football, the side referee, but the back judge called it incomplete.
Shipley really hopping mad when he first saw that call made, and then he calms down. Let's see if the AstroTurf causes this to pop out. It looks like a tremendous catch.
Look how high Shipley goes. Now he's got control of it, and the ball just comes out. He did not have control of it, I should say.
Good call.
You've got to come down with control of that football. Awfully close.
Load up with 6 on the line. Out of the shotgun, but the whistle blows. And that might be delay of game.
Well, I see what he's saying, what Jim Wacker's saying. Wait a minute, the clock was off. It wasn't working.
And TCU will call time. And evidently not suffer a 5-yard mark-off. We'll take time out. With that much time remaining.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else.
Looks great. How'd we do it?
Let them look you up. Let them know you're around. Let them feel your clothes when you're out of town. Handle all their little last-minute corrections, and you'll have it made. Just use your connections.
For phones, fax machines, and voice and data systems to help you succeed, call Southwestern Bell.
With Southwestern Bell, you got great connections.
It's who you know.
Hi, Peter. How are you doing?
Oh, I know who that is.
Another Peter Rolf fan. They are everywhere. Be sure to join Raycom Saturday night, December 28th for Blockbuster Bowl 2 from Joe Robbie Stadium in sunny South Florida. The 8th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide will take on the Big 8 runner-up Colorado, Oklahoma, or Nebraska in the Blockbuster Bowl Saturday night, December 28th on Raycom. Peter Rolf, by the way, our boss, executive producer of Raycom, and a legend here in Fort Worth. 8:29 to play. Option pitch. Modkins turns it up to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3. Ventress on the tackle. Iowa's starting to open it up on Minnesota. Arkansas still shutting out the Owls. Washington State by 1, second quarter.
That would be a huge upset.
That won't happen.
That will not happen. This is one.
That they cannot do. Incomplete. They went for Blackwell, who thought he was interfered with by Tyrone Davis. But a clean deflection, and it's 4th and 4.
And look at Blackwell walk over there and say, he was on my back. It was awfully close coverage. Let's see if we perhaps can see how close the coverage was. Watch when the ball is thrown. Now watch the coverage. No, he's not on him. He steps in front of him and doesn't put that back hand on. That's just an excellent play.
Deacon again, very short kick, does get the roll. And Steve Harris on his knees at the 29-yard line. Those who have come to Amon Carter Stadium have seen one of the better shows in college football this year. And 7:46 still to go as we return after this from Southwest Airlines.
Ever since Southwest Airlines extended our Friends Fly Free sale, people have gotten even friendlier.
Sugar Plum, your favorite pillow.
If you make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our regular low unrestricted fare, a friend gets to fly with you free all the way through February.
Hey, Dad, seen the head trimmer?
And now you can buy tickets till January 15th.
Here's that putter I borrowed last year. Oh, buddy.
Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free sale. It's great for your pocketbook and your popularity.
We asked California artist Ed Lister to give us his impressions of the all-new 1992 Buick Skylark. To capture the lyrical lines, the liquid flow, the dash of flair, and above all, the quality that makes this the Buick of its class. Did he capture Skylark? Decide for yourself. But one thing's for certain. Skylark is the Buick that will change a lot of impressions about Buick.
You just get the idea. TCU is going to have to get more than that 42-point total to come up with the W here. Klingler with the win behind him, 7:46 to work with, 70 yards away from another go-ahead touchdown. And a whistle and flags. And Rogers Redding will tell us what happened.
Well, somebody had to move on offense. That's what happened.
We have a dead ball foul, illegal snap on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the center moving the ball. That's the center, like taking a little hitch in his snap.
First and 15, 5-yard penalty.
So first and 15. Klingler could get over the 400-yard mark on this drive if he can still stand up. Moulton came, Bolden came, and Vincent Pryor helped out against Klingler, and again he pops up.
I want to tell you, he has got to be one tough person. For him to take this pressure and to go down this number of times, he is just, boy, he is a super tough person back there, quarterback.
That's 9 TCU sacks today. And they're coming again. Shovel pass, Sanders. Spins off contact to the 35. And on 2nd and 23, he gives them 18 of the 23 before Rand and Jones finally make the tackle.
Boy, and when the coaches tell you wrap them up, they mean wrap them up. And this is exactly what happens. They don't wrap them up. Look right there. You just keep your arms on them. That was Evans that went down, and he could have stopped about a 2-yard gain. Instead, he gets a big gain.
East Carolina trailed in that one for a while, still scoreless in Austin. Klingler keeping battered again. Will not have the first. Now will Jenkins go for it again in his own territory on 4th down.
Boy, I hate to think that's a design play when I've got Sanders back there finding those holes. Big decision here for John Jenkins. He's saying, hey, we're taking a page out of Jim Wacker's book, and we're going to go for it too.
Well, Wacker took one out of Jenkins' book. He took one out of Crow's book. And on 4th and 2, here they come.
Maybe Klingler can pull them off sides. If it's Roosevelt Collins off sides, I can promise they're going to be upset. But he's going to take a time out just to talk about it, make sure they have the right play.
5:52 to go. Each team down to their final timeout.
Enemy on the open. Moving up on your right, Bravo 2.
I'm 30 miles from the action, but I'm responsible for a digital communication link between headquarters and brigade.
Enemy tank, checkpoint 1.
If the data isn't programmed right, 5,000 troops could be cut off.
Enemy forces together.
But I'd never let that happen to my brigade.
Op 4 is eliminated.
Be all that you can be.
Did it, sir?
Outstanding.
It's your life in the Army.
Saturday on Raycom, Southwest Conference excitement continues. The Texas Tech Red Hot Red Raiders take on the Houston Cougars. It's the best of the Southwest on Raycom. Well, you think we've had an up and down day. These guys have been working a couple of 100 yards to the north of Amon Carter Stadium. Bungee jumping. I have no idea why anyone would want to do that, but they've been doing it all afternoon. And inside the stadium, after the Houston timeout, 5:52 to go, 4th and 3. And here come Klingler and the Cougars.
Well, if it's me, I give the ball to Sanders. I let him find that little hole.
He fakes to Sanders, and Klingler will keep for the first down, chased out by Evans. As battered as he is.
Wow, that was a heck of a fake. The fake to Sanders held just about everybody except Evans, the strong safety. He saw Klingler all the way, but couldn't come up to make the tackle. But what a fake, and what a call. I mean, we're talking about down in your own, inside your own 40-yard line. Fake to Sanders, now bring it up, and you'll see Evans come right into the picture, but he can't stop Klingler from getting that first down.
Good toss off behind Tracy Good, and he was not pressured that time, but it should not come as a surprise if 9 sacks have thrown him off.
Boy.
Well, moments ago.
Some guys will do anything to stay warm. Look at this. You mean this is fun? Oh, man.
Well, I personally do not plan to find out.
No.
But this is 2nd and 10. Again, short. That was almost picked off by Collins, and instead Daniel Adams rambles, fumbles, and the Frogs say they have it. We have a flag down way back in the Cougar backfield. They unpile it, and they say Houston recovers.
That flag was thrown so far back there, I'm wondering if it's not roughing the quarterback. Now on that play, Collins almost intercepted the ball. Then they make a huge play downfield.
And it is roughing TCU.
See, the play happened so quickly, and Klingler, the next thing I look up, and Klingler is down on the ground.
Roughing the passer, the indication.
That was almost his 10th sack. And almost disaster for Daniel Adams, who dropped a sure touchdown pass earlier.
Boy, think of the magnitude of this play. You've got the football, you're TCU, you're going the other way. As it is, you've got to give up. This penalty is, I mean, this is the biggest penalty of this football game. Oh, boy.
We have roughing the passer on the defense, penalized half the distance to the goal, first down.
Remember the other big penalty that produced the possible 14-point swing, the offsides in the first half on Collins that kept the drive alive for a Houston score. To the sideline, Berlin Brown. Making Tracy Good. Good out of bounds at the 7. Brandon Hickman over there with him. 5:17 to play. Baylor now knows who they will play in the Copper Bowl. It will be the Indiana Hoosiers. We showed you their victory over Purdue, and if Arkansas can hang on against Rice, they head for the Bull and Weed Eater Independence Bowl. They've held Cobb to 89 yards so far. Into the end zone, almost a stretching grab for Marcus Grant.
Well, Dave, I want to tell you, rarely do you see a quarterback that throws better on the run than Klingler. He just snaps that body, whether he's running left or right. Doesn't make a difference if he throws across his body, and he just drills it in there. That ball is about 3 inches from being caught, and he's running with the football and throwing it.
3rd and 2 for the first down. Inside the 5-yard line, it will be 1st and goal as Grant brings it in traffic.
Boy, that was close to a pick out there on the corner. You know the old basketball pick where you wipe off one guy? Watch this play right here. It's almost a pick. If 16 hits him, if he hits him there, that's a pick. He doesn't. He comes inside of him and avoids him. And that's what doesn't allow the pick play, but close.
They clock at 5 as they get the snap off. To give this to Tcu Sanders. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown. Houston back in front.
Boy, that'll bring a smile to John Jenkins' face. And I haven't seen anybody bring down Sanders all day with one person.
Alex Molina is the pro who had a chance to stop him for a loss.
They had him in the backfield. Really, at the point of attack, he is stuffed right at the point of attack, and he just bounces outside for that score.
Anderson can give him a 3-point lead. This is, of all the extra points we've seen, the most critical of the day, and it's perfect.
Well, again, Dave, watch Sanders at the point of attack. It's supposed to go right off the guard. Now, he gets in a pile there. You see Molina hit him. 99 is right there in front of him. Now, he just doesn't get tackled. He just bounces outside.
Tcu Sanders brings Jenkins Cougars back. They're in front, but a lot of time left for Vogler.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. Skylark for 1992. It's got everything you've been looking for, plus the one thing only Buick can offer you, Buick quality.
Every day is made of little things we always do. Never once forgetting the reason that we're here is you.
At Walmart, we always greet you at the door. We always try to have what you want. You can always return it. And you will always find the low price on the brands you trust.
Every day and always, we're here for you.
45-42 with 4:38 to play. And after Roman Anderson's kick, TCU will hope for the best in terms of field position. Every yard so critical because of the wind factor. Morey will take the touchback. They'll be 80 yards away. The Houston scoring drive, capped by the Sanders touchdown run, goes 10 plays and 70 yards.
Boy, more capped by that roughing the passer, which gave Houston back the ball at the point of the fumble and gave them the 15 yards added on to that to take them down to the 10-yard line.
Modkins is the setback. Vogler's got all the way at quarterback, and on the draw play, Modkins weaving for about 3. Linton, Weatherspoon, and Cudrez on the tackle. And a flag is down. That'll stop the clock at 4:32. Modkins today, 22 carries, 85 yards, if this stands.
We have offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It won't. 1st and 5. Monday night, December 30th on Raycom. It's the Freedom Bowl from Anaheim, California. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane, which handed Texas A&M its only defeat this year, will face either San Diego State or BYU. Make plans now to join us December 30th for the Freedom Bowl. Vogler just does get it off, and it was slightly behind Blackwell and incomplete.
You know, when I saw that promo about the Freedom Bowl, I thought of that San Diego State BYU game. Over 1,200 yards passing. The game ended in a 52-52 tie.
Detmer brought him from 28 back in the second half in that game, and Vogler, who has played with the sore hip all day, looks like he might have again re-injured it, but stays in. You got to get him out of there with a lot more than one hit in this game. Across the 30 is Modkins. First down, Frogs, as we roll near 4 minutes remaining.
Well, the fans are thinking about a 3-point tie. First of all, they don't know Jim Wacker. Secondly, they don't know the wind that we've got blowing here.
I think they do know the wind, but
we've talked a lot about it. There it is. It'll be right in the kicker's face. You're talking about a wind that would lessen a kicker's distance by at least 15 yards.
Michael Jackson in motion. Option pitch. Modkins tripped up. That's a huge tackle. And Ryan McCoy prevented maybe 10 more yards at least for Modkins. He had that kind of room over there. Only twice this season has a TCU quarterback finished a game he started, and Vogler's 325 away from doing that. Last time a TCU quarterback made it through a season unscathed, Reuben Jones, 1983. 8 years. Plenty of time, incomplete. Shipley pretty well covered by John W. Brown.
Really a huge play right now for Vogler. It's going to be 3rd down, about 9. You can see him on the sideline getting ready to send in the play. Jim Wacker has a lot of influence on that. The coaches up in the booth here are signaling down also what type of play to run. You know who I go to.
Vogler looking right at that man, Blackwell, and he dropped it. If he brings it in, it's another first down.
Well, I thought he got held when he made his break on the line. He doesn't get up complaining, but the ball was there. You ever wanted to catch one, this was it, but I thought he got held right there. See the backhand, that's Tyrone Davis. But that ball hit him right in the face mask, went through his gloves. Again, watch this. That ball's very catchable, and boy, that's something you don't see much out of Blackwell, to drop one right there.
He's caught 10 already today. That's his first drop. Frogs go for it, 4th and 9. This might be the whole game for TCU. Catch for the first down by Stephen Shipley with a yard to spare, if that.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you have got to love the courage of these two coaches. 4th down, that doesn't mean anything. That just means another opportunity to go for it. If they don't make this play, if Jim Wacker's team doesn't make this play, this is the ball game. Goes to a sure-handed receiver in Shipley. Great concentration again by Shipley to bring in that first down, to keep this drive alive.
And that might have been the sharpest pass that Vogler's thrown all day. Fake to Modkins. He'll go deep. And it'll be picked off by Kevin Batiste.
The pass is intercepted by number 38, Kevin Batiste.
The former Toronto Blue Jay outfielder handled that one like Kirby Puckett in center field. And now Jenkins with 2:24 to try to kill.
I thought David Lewis got interfered with, but I think his feet just got tangled up. He's number 18 down the center. You can see he just kind of turns around and falls down. No interference on that play, and the ball just floats up there. That's one of the problems with going deep into the wind, is the ball, if it's not a strike, if it's not just that rope throw where you just throw with velocity, it has a real tendency to wobble up there, and you can recover great distances as a secondary man.
And Batiste, the 24-year-old freshman, has his 3rd pickoff of the year. Sanders to the 25, clock at 2:18. TCU with only one more timeout.
Boy, David, that's a big factor, only one timeout. If Houston can make one first down, and you know Klingler's looking down in the end zone at that 25-second clock, And he'll use just about every second he can. If they can make one first down, this ball game's history.
He's got 13 on the snap clock. He can take the snap with about 1:43 to go.
Down to 5.
And he'll keep Reggie Anderson. Will chase him out of bounds.
Oh, now that's a mistake. What he needed to do was just fall down. If he was going to do that, you just fall down. You see John Jenkins say, David, don't run out of bounds. Don't stop the clock.
We saw Butch Hadnot do that for Texas against Tech. It almost cost Texas the game because it gave Tech the extra shots, and they almost tied it.
Well, you're talking about time that would be going off the clock now, and it's not. The clock is stopped at 1:40. That's like giving your opponent an extra timeout.
3rd and 8. Cougars need their 32. And that one incomplete. Intended for Adams. It'll be 4th and 8. And here comes the punting unit, and John Jenkins' heart is in his throat right now.
It certainly is. I'll tell you, all he's saying right now, and he may be saying, listen, take this ball and run out of the back of the end zone. But make sure you get it off.
Good snap. He does get it off. Hickman from the 30. A return of 10. Frogs get it with 1:35 to go.
Now, Dave, that's a lot of time for Matt Vogler. He's got great field position. He's going to be at his 40-yard line. He's got 1:34 left. If they catch it in bounds, or one where he has to run downfield, he still has that one timeout to use. It's a very precious timeout. But wow, what a mistake by David Klingler to run out of bounds on that play. He could have taken another 25 to 30 seconds off the clock.
There'd be right at 1 minute left had he not done that. Vogler from the shotgun. Floater, Blackwell, got it! At the Houston 33.
Wow, what a catch by Blackwell. Tyrone Davis is with him, just man-to-man. He's like a blanket on him. Watch Blackwell. He runs with him. Now watch the concentration by Blackwell. High to get the football. The ball never bounces off his hands. He is just such a sure catcher of the ball.
He is closing his career with a career performance. Vogler, pump fake, nothing but green ahead of him, and he'll slide to the 25. It'll be 2nd and short, and that hip can't feel real good after that. 1:04 and counting.
Look at him getting up limping. He knows he's got to hurry, though. Look at him, he's bent over, he's hurt.
Wants to make sure Modkins has the play, and in turn, Alvarez gets it from Modkins. Too tall and almost brought in anyway by Shipley, and now Shipley may be shaken up or maybe just disappointed. Clock stopped at 39 seconds.
Good concentration by Shipley that time. He almost brought that football in. They are very close to being in Wilkinson's field goal range. From this position, you're probably looking at about about 35, 40-yard field goal. They need to get probably about an extra 10 yards. Really wouldn't hurt in this situation.
But I don't know if they'd even think about it. I think they want the win after what they've gone through today, coming from 14 down. They need 2 on 3rd down. Flag is down as the catch at the 15 is made by Blackwell, and let's see if they wave it off. Well, I say no catch. No catch, and now check the flag.
Wait a minute now, that ball, I thought that ball, Blackwell just about caught that ball. I know he dropped it, but what I think the call is going to be defensive interference. From where that flag is thrown, it's way in the back. That almost always is some form of interference. Now, whether Blackwell pushed off or whether it's defensive interference, that's the determination. Holding, which is an interference call.
Let's look at number 30, Tyrone Davis here.
There's Blackwell. Watch him come off here. Now see if he doesn't hold right there. Blackwell just drops the ball. It's behind him a little bit. That might not have been the hold, but that didn't really look like holding to me. That looked like a good contact. Holding might have been at another position. But again, first down. Now they've got it on the 15-yard line. They're assuredly in field goal position at least.
Pump fake. Vogler wants it all for Shipley. Caught. Touchdown. They've got to help Matt Vogler off the field, but he has put TCU back in front. Shipley with the grab in the corner of the end zone. Did he run out of bounds and come back in for the touchdown catch?
Well, I can tell you this. When you can jump 32 inches, you can go high for that football, and that's what Shipley did on the tail end of that. The defensive player, Brown, was in great position on the play.
If Wilkinson hits it, TCU up by 4 and a flag down. Flag is down. And again, we'll await the ruling from Rogers Redding.
There's Vogler. Look at him. He's in a lot of pain. He never saw it.
Well, he had one more pass in him. And he had a perfect strike to Shipley, but watch the pattern Shipley runs. Bottom of your screen.
He's right down here at the base now. Watch and see if he goes out of bounds right there. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds and then comes back in to catch the football. Yes, he goes high enough. He does come down with the football. That's that vertical leap. But hey, he was out of bounds.
Wacker will take it. No questions asked. With 28 seconds to play, let's look at another dude.
Dave, he wasn't even close to being in bounds. He's on the left of your screen. Watch how far out of bounds he is. Now right there, he's at least 2 steps out of bounds. It's not like he stepped on the line.
The side judge is Bo Hicks. He's watching the flight of the ball. His head is cocked upward and not down to see Shipley run out of bounds. Clearly, Shipley should not have gotten the touchdown catch, but it's in the books.
Way to go out, baby. God dang, way to go out. Way to go, Matt. Good job, Matt. Good job, baby.
It is still not over. There are 28 seconds still to play. But what a game. Mercy, what a game.
Boy, oh boy, what a play. And what a disappointment for David Clinton. Although, you know what he's thinking right now? I got 28 seconds left. That's the type of competitor he is. You don't see him hanging his head. I mean, sure, he's upset. But I can tell you this, he's got 28 seconds left, and he'll make the most of those 28 seconds.
And because of that 15-yard mark off and the extra point, they'll kick from midfield. Highest losing score, Arkansas scored 44 in their loss to Tech last year. Houston's got 45. And it may not be enough in this one.
Well, we had 91 points scored in this game last year. We've broken that.
Deacon hangs it up. This is an excellent kickoff. Perry from his 3. To the 29-yard line with 23 seconds for Klingler to work with. All he needs is one good shot.
He's down near the 28-yard line.
Well, he has that one timeout, Dave, so that's got to help him a little bit. Obviously, he's got to go deep. Right now, you call upon your offensive line. He's used that little roll, that little strong side roll to get out of the pressure. He needs to do that. He needs to have his offensive line get him a lot of time. Look for Grant going downfield long.
They are 72 yards away. And that one intended Headed at midfield for Grant. 18 seconds left. Second down coming.
Well, he had Grant. Grant was wide open. Watch Grant, 81. Watch him turn inside here. He's wide open. There's nobody around him.
Again, no pressure. Klingler airing it out for all he's worth. Intercepted. Greg Evans.
This is the most points ever scored in the Southwest Conference game by TCU.
We said at the outset they're going to look back at 1991 in a few years and say, how did we do this? That summarizes today. And the Greg Evans interception caps an amazing ball game. 9 seconds to go. Vogler to a knee. And it is all over at Amon Carter Stadium.
Well, you hate to say one play determined the football game because it was a marvelous offensive showing. But that pass to Shipley, boy, that one there in the Houston eyes, that one will burn for a long, long time.
Postseason competition, 7 wins and 4 losses.
The Frogs N91 with their most points scored in a conference game ever at Amon Carter Stadium. And David Klingler a loser by 4 and a wild one.
Ever since Southwest Airlines extended our Friends Fly Free sale, people have gotten even friendlier.
Sugar Plum, your favorite pillow.
If you make reservations and buy your round-trip ticket at our regular low unrestricted fare, a friend gets to fly with you free all the way through February.
Hey, Dad, seen the head trimmer?
And now you can buy tickets till January 15th.
Here's that putter I borrowed last year. Oh, buddy.
Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free sale. It's great for your pocketbook and your popularity.
Turn on Raycom and turn on excitement. For the best in sports, turn on Raycom.
Today's Southwest Airlines player of the game is Kelly Blackwell, who ends his career as the NCAA all-time tight end reception leader with 181. 11 today for 124 yards. And he's going to savor this one. 49-45. The Frogs finish 7-4.
What a defensive struggle, huh? And what a play to Shipley, that one that was out of bounds. This is the play. Watch Shipley on the left of your screen. He's going to clearly step out of bounds by at least 2 feet. There, he's out of bounds. He comes back in to make the catch. He's down. They rule it a touchdown, and TCU wins.